with that, after long last, we return, my friends. We return to the Auroraverse. Hello everybody, welcome to the stream today. My name is Sensei Suplex, and today we have the likes of the first session of Jaded Jungles, this awesome little mini campaign series, and more. I'm a little bit out of sync. Let me fix that. Hiya. Ooh. What? There we go. How's it going, everybody? Hope you guys have had a fantastic sort of day. Sorry about the delay and everything. We had a huge bunch of technical issues beforehand, and I'm going to mention that in a second and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, we had something kind of acted up with like OBS or something. We have Matt or Chaotic and Ryder. They're fixing it up in the background. So we'll be editing a couple of stuff on stream and all that, but nothing you guys need to worry about. But I do appreciate you guys for being able to tune on into the likes of this awesome little mini series. It's going to be a fun one. It's going to be epic. It's going to be hilarious and just overall good time. Expect a couple of technical issues and more because it's been a month since I've actually streamed D&D in a long while. And obviously we're trying to make sure we're focusing on the game, so I may not be able to focus on the likes of all the little YouTube or content creation sort of stuff. We're really always focusing on the likes of the players and the actual game itself. So YouTube and all that is always second, but I will try to give you guys an enjoyable experience as much as I can, you know, without compromising too much. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. Everybody's been waiting for this, so let's not wait any longer. Let's go. Jaded Jungles. Oh, so also a little thingy that you guys need to know. The overlay is going to be a little bit bugged compared to usual. Like you'll see in the bottom or like kind of right below me, typically those images kind of react whenever people talk. That won't be the case for a majority of this session, as I'm going to be fixing it in the background. But that was the big thing that kind of took a little while to fix up. But all right, let's go say hi to our players.
Finally, should we just go like
I
was just talking in American, okay? I was just kind of getting it out in the open. Leave it alone. I miss my America.
Don't forget to check. Don't forget to check on Wednesdays at 12 o'clock p.m. to see the area in which Auroraverse is from.
No, you said it wrong.
You said it wrong. There we go.
That's how you say it. That's how you say it. You said it wrong. Pronounced it incorrectly.
Goodness.
She will come for you.
I just forgot. Here's what we need to do. I need, because the bot isn't here, so here's what we're gonna do. I want to, first things first, I want to thank each and every single one of you guys for being able to be a player, part of this game. I hope you guys are ready for an awesome, epic time. I've been hyped up for this campaign for weeks. I've been like, God damn it, let me have it. Let me have the campaign. We were gonna play last week, but we said we gotta wait a little bit longer until we're ready to go. And hey, I'm actually glad that we did, because I was able to add a bunch more stuff to the likes of the bit of the campaign and the entire sessions. And one other thing that I do want to say is actually, so last time when we had our little session 0, we actually were talking about, hey, we're going to use Sensei Ghosts and all that stuff, but for some reason, don't know why, Sensei Ghosts, they vanished like a ghost. They vanished, they stopped sort of acting as they were. So when in doubt, always use good old faithful, and that's old Terrybot. So Terrybot, you're just going to want to turn them down a little bit. Now, I'm going to be playing a lot of the music through Terry, but if for whatever reason, and this happens every now and again, if for whatever reason Terrybot acts up and they're just like skipping, they're not playing anything, yada, 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 don't fret, don't worry, because I got you. I'm going to be basically dropping all the soundtracks that I'm kind of using in the likes of the... which chat should I use? I want to make it simple. Let's drop it in... I'll drop it in the end game content chat. I think that's easiest. And you can just, whenever that happens, you can just click on the YouTube video, play it in the background, right click on it, have it loop, and you'll be good to go. You only need to do that if like Terrybot starts acting up, or if you just want to control the volume on your own end. I know a lot of people like to do that, but it doesn't matter to me. Do whatever you are comfortable with, please. All right. So, before we get started, does anybody have any questions about literally anything?
Nope.
Is everybody just
I'm
excited?
good to go.
And it's an instrument.
Yes, it is an instrument, if you try hard enough.
Horseradish an instrument too?
No, absolutely frickin' not.
I mean, if you can get it to stay in tune.
You just use it to hit the bongo drums. That's what you use the radish for. That's how That's how you make music. That
Exactly.
or multiple heads.
I try to make an I was gonna say try to make an instrument out of beef chunks, but sadly it was not stroganoff.
Oh no. Can
goodness.
you minus that? Can you minus his rolls?
I'll give
I'll
him
see.
like
I'll see. Well, it's been fun
Terrible.
playing with you.
Anti inspiration.
Oh man. Oh, he left.
Oh,
fled.
he's gone. Oh man. All right, y'all. It's time, and I'm done with shenanigans. I need you guys to do one little thing. First off, Terrybot, take it away, please. Do it, maybe. There we go. That's what we like to see. So, if I could have each and every single one of you guys do one familiar thing to some, but one new thing to others. And that is, my friends, to gather around the table and let me tell you all a Voden fable. For this, my friends, my warriors and fellow adventurers, is the infamous tale of the Zhao dynasty. A tale of mystery, fate, and a sinister and cruel queen. For this be the tale of the Jaded Jungles. Come, gather forth, and let me tell you exactly this tale. Friends, the sun rises over the horizon of the valley. The sky is brilliant with blends of oranges, pinks, and purples. You notice as the light casts over the valley and the people of the Zhao dynasty begin to stir from their slumber. You as well. You can hear the clatter and clangs of the city changing in the air. And soon after, you begin to hear the bustling of the marketplaces beginning to take shape. The merchants hawking their wares of strange and exotic items from all across Voden. You can smell even the various dishes and spices that cook up and fill the likes of multiple market stalls and even fill the bellies of hungry patrons. Oh, this air is filled with laughter and chatter of the locals as they conduct business, gossip, and play the occasional game of shogi. The guards of the Zhao dynasty, some of you even talking to them, some of you even being friends with them. The guards walk the streets with a more stoic looking look on their face as they kind of keep an eye out for any bits of trouble. But they stand tall, they stand proud, and their armor glinting in Heliod's sunlight. A reminder that the authority, the Zhao dynasty, the dragon, is omnipresent. You all look around. In your own sort of respective places, either waking up after sleeping for a little bit longer, or maybe even being out and partying for a little bit longer than you were, or for some of you older characters, sleeping in and forgetting that you have a job to do. Regardless, though, you all begin to arise and head for your final journey. That's, my friends, being the Temple Fate. This being the likes of Clothus's domain, a very much coveted and famous looking, or famous sort of, how you say, landmark of the Zhao dynasty. You notice as it's beyond these massive sort of golden walls with bits of sort of protection and chains and more sort of wrapping around the entire area. Despite it being locked away, eventually the chains drop and the doors begin to slowly grate open for a multiple individual to walk in. As this is said, one by one, as you enter either by yourself or with a friend, you enter the monastery, and you are met with a breathtaking sight, each of you. The walls you see as they're adorned with symbols and designs representing the 5 captains, your captains. You look over and you see as other individuals are praying to the likes of Clothus or Heliod. Some are training to hone their skills truthfully. Regardless, your time is now. Let me show you exactly what you all see. Alright, my friends, take a look at this. And you guys will be loading in just 1 second. And, oh, I see why. Let's get this going. And, nope, don't need that. And bam. Yeah, I should be able to see stuff now. Alright, there you go. Everybody, just to make sure, does everybody see stuff? And if you don't, let me know, please.
I see the stuff.
I see things.
See stuff.
That's what we like to hear. Alright. So, if that's the case, looking around you, besides the map that you kind of sort of see as the water is sort of flowing about and other individuals are sort of training to their heart's content, you look over and you see dozens of individuals passing through or entering into the monastery. And although I'm not going to add all of their titles because there's no point of bogging up the likes of the screen anymore, look over and you see as there is another individual that is awaiting your presence. All 6 of yours. Specifically, a woman with long sort of black hair and strange arachnid legs protruding from their body and more. They look over with an air of confidence, but also a strange air of mystery. Though they're far away, they await for you all to arrive. 2 individuals, however, they get here a little bit earlier than the other 4. As you 2 individuals look on, let's see exactly who you are. All right. So, as the 2 individuals begin to arrive, you look over and you see the entire monastery, but who exactly are you? So, what I typically like to do when it comes to introducing the likes of your characters and more, all you gotta do is just a couple things. Basically just describe what your character's name is. Also, you can, well actually, here, let's go a little bit before then. You can basically introduce yourself to the likes of everybody. Either, I know you kind of already know each other, like player-wise, but if you want to introduce yourself to the Auroraverse, maybe how long you've been playing, or maybe if this is your first game or anything like that, you can easily feel free to do that. You can also talk a little bit about your character. You don't need to go into their backs or anything like that. That'll be revealed eventually during the game, but you can just describe kind of what they look like and maybe what they're doing. So, describe, or basically just explain how long you've been in the Auroraverse, or if it's your first game, and then 2, describe what your character looks like. Who wants to go first between either one of you, Cypher or the likes of Dean? Oh, don't make me flip a coin now. Don't make me flip a coin.
What do you think, Cypher? Do you want me to go first?
No, I'll go first.
Okay.
So yeah, my name is Severed Cypher. Been lurking in the Auroraverse for a while. Played in a few games here and there, but this is my first campaign, so super excited about that. My character for this game is named Lorian of Iselda, though he just goes by Lorian most of the time. Due to him being an exile from his village, he's not allowed to use his last name. You see he's a moth folk. He wears, simple cloths that have a multitude of hidden pockets and intricate stitchings, both so that he can secret away knickknacks and things that he finds interesting, but also serve as resting places for his small companion, a orange gecko that has a gem jutting out of parts of his body, named Alexander, but Lorian calls him Alex for short.
All right, so that's me.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm Dean. This is my first thing I've done in the Auroraverse. Very excited to be here, especially with all the other forever DMs that are also in this game as players. But I'm Mirage. Mirage is a bunch of long wrapped different cloths as clothes that I can kind of pull up in certain ways to change my outfit, whether it's to be, more masculine look or dress, because I am a changeling, so I can be, all sorts of fun things. So I'm a playmaker, a puppet maker, but most of all, a troublemaker. And that's I'm a bard.
Yeah, heck yeah. Right. So, as you two, gosh, I got the overlay fixed. I'm so happy. Good lord. As you two begin to arrive in, let me do one last thing, and let me show you, or show everybody, likes of your art. This is actually just right in at the buzzer beater. Oh man, we love it. We love it. Oh man. And then we have Mirage right here. I will say this, Dean, your character has been the talk of the town because they ain't got no face. And Max is like, what the heck? Where is this person's face?
Without a face.
Oh, man.
Mirage would love to hear that he's the talk of the town.
But regardless, as you both begin to walk into the likes of this monastery, what are you guys kind of saying or doing on your way there? You kind of opened up the gates and you see this entire display of just everything sort of going on at once. For example, there's an individual off to the right. They seem to kind of be, move you over here. They kind of sitting down, cross-legged, and meditating in some way, shape, or form. And they seem to be doing so very much intently, strong as an ox, but has a sword beside them. You see other individuals, for example, over here, and they seem to be more so moving along with the legs of the water, moving and motioning the legs of small koi fish in the legs of this pond. So many individuals of differing coloring or colorful faces and personalities and more, but what are you two sort of doing as you arrive in?
I'll lean over and kind of do a little elbow and go, so, do you think she had it coming, or do you think it was, the wrath,
I'm not quite sure what you're talking about. What did you get in another altercation with someone else in camp?
Oh, I mean, you know me, it may or may not have. As I'm walking through, I'm kind of like, as I pass people, just like changing into them and trying faces out, leaning into the water to see if I like it or not. I'll kind of half mock the water movements, not in a rude way, but in like a trying to, be that character.
And you guys can also move your tokens whenever you wish. The map is live wherever you guys go. I'll let you know if you find something in a bit. But there's not necessarily, you guys can choose however which way you guys want to go. But continue on.
Is there a way to take both of these tokens with me?
Yeah. So if you hover, so if you click and if you drag, like left click and drag over both of your two characters, then it'll highlight them both and let you move both at the same time.
Oh.
Let's see if you got access.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do I not have like ownership of that one or something?
Yeah, I don't think you do. Nope, you don't. All right, how about now?
I don't own my familiar?
Nope, you gotta. Yeah, sorry, you gotta go buy him. You may have to get another one.
He's not a possession. He's a friend.
My bad. You have to get a new friend.
All right, there we go.
Okay, so do we just want to keep moving along past the bridge?
Yeah.
Enough.
Yeah, and just kind of, as we're going, just kind of talking and, well, surely you weren't engaging in this rumor mongering around camp just now.
I thought I was, but I thought maybe you heard something I didn't that we shouldn't be talking about it. You know me, I like to kind of poke around a little bit.
Yes, well, honestly, if your pokings haven't uncovered anything, then I assure you I don't know anything. And nor
That's
do I
what you
want to.
say.
As you're kind of
Thing-
like oh, my bad. That's
Oh,
something
that's just-
that you probably noticed while you're walking over here.
Sure.
Yeah.
As you guys are kind of walking over and you're approaching the bridge, you kind of look over and you see this water genasi of the sorts. They look over and they kind of notice you as you're having a conversation, and they don't necessarily intrude. They kind of meet you with a peaceful and calming atmosphere, though, and a warm smile. The water genasi, though, it's strange. It's something that you've never necessarily seen before. You see as he's kind of lifting the likes of various koi fish from the water itself, not touching them, but just lifting them and almost willing them forth. You see as the water itself begins to rise for a moment, for eventually each koi fish begins to wrap itself into his hands, where he cleans them off and places them back into the water where they were. Their movements are graceful, delicate, but it seems to be that they're sort of, as their nature would say, going with the water, enjoying life. That said, is there anything you guys sort of say or do with them, or do you keep on minding your own business and just keep walking on? Either or's fine.
Is this a someone that we've kind of seen around, like, or is this just like just random kind of no named individual?
Well, if you've ever found yourself, or if you believe you found your character ever going to the likes of the Temple of Destiny, which you guys are in right now, and you've all been into here at least once, then you might have seen this individual occasionally. They're typically here, and you can always just ask them, but they're typically here every couple of days or so, to just make sure all the fish are sort of taken care of and all that. But there's so many individuals in the monastery, there's always another individual with a story, so
Yeah, so just kind of as we walk by, I'm just gonna kind of copy. I'm still gonna look like Mirage, but I'm gonna have like some of the blue accents, a little bit more genasi, as I just kind of pass by and try it out.
Easy enough. As you're kind of doing so, they'll acknowledge you as you begin to continue walking forth, almost mimicking them for a second. They chuckle, but they let you continue going on, or let you go on.
When you say like he's like cleaning the fish, is he doing like some kind of magic, or is he like literally like picking out stuff from like the scales and things like that?
Oh no, this is he wishes he had that. This is a super delicate process. He ain't got no prestidigitation. If he wishes he did. He's more so cleaning and taking out each and every one of the scales, and it's kind of for a faint effort. Like he places it down, and then they just get dirty back up in like 10 seconds. But he just continues to do his job. You can kind of tell it's bringing him peace for sure. You know.
Right. Yeah, just kind of stand there and just watch him for a while. Just kind of just observing the process.
Mm-hmm. They'll look over at you as you kind of one person turned blue 2 seconds ago, the other one's kind of watching from afar. They'll look over and they'll kind of just begin to say, yes, hello. I doubt it, but would you care to join me? I see one of you is already going through the motions.
And have we are we on any kind of agenda or anything, or are we just kind of like our morning free time?
Good question.
Nah, I mean the dynasty's pretty strict and stuff like that, but I mean like, hey, I mean they can't start the mission without you, so
Right. Okay.
like you're aware of that, so it's like, nah, you don't have to like be rushed or pressed for time or anything.
Right.
Yeah, I think I would, look over at Lori and go, I wouldn't mind sitting for a moment and learning more about this character.
Yes, I suppose we have a little bit of time to kill. I must admit, I was quite curious on what exactly you were doing here. Admiring your technique, I know my own scaled companion has a penchant for getting dirty, but he usually just takes care of it himself.
That's fine. If you would allow me, I could sort of try to clean them off and see if I could help out. I typically come here every other day to make sure these individuals are taken care of, but for some reason they seem a little bit more antsy. I don't know why.
Yeah, just kind of it's like, well, their nature is tuned into all sorts of things that we don't quite understand. Who knows? But and just kind of look over at the lizard kind of curled up on like underneath the fluff around my neck, and just kind of look for like a look of like affirmation. Just be like, well, I mean, it's kind of up to you, Alex. It's we don't have a whole lot of time.
As a question, because I don't think we ever clarified it. Do you want me to roleplay Alex or anything like that, or do you want to just have full control? I'm fine with either.
No, if you want to roleplay him, that's fine with me.
Sure. You kind of look over and you'll see as Alex is a little bit more so confused as, people are being lifted out, or fish are being lifted out of the water and all that stuff. It is a little bit of a strange process, but, they look over towards you, they look towards Mirage, and they're willing to at least try it, Might be good for them.
I'll lean over and to Alexander and go, I've got an idea that might make you feel a little bit more comfortable. And I cast Mage Hand to kind of like fly him around, so he's not flying around by this water Genasi's magic. Mm-hmm. I can kind of float him around and, kind of like a little kid running around with an airplane, like,
yeah. You see, like, as soon as he starts floating around, I just kind of start to reach out my hands, kind of like,
is it a no? I can put him down if you like.
Just be careful.
110%, Lorian.
As you sort of
Why do I have a hard time believing that?
As you're sort of saying this, you'll see as the waters begin to sort of wash over the likes of Alex for a moment, and eventually as the water genasi begins to sort of go through the motions of it, you'll see as they begin to say, I am so sorry for my manners. My name is Vapor. What exactly are your names?
Lorian.
And I am Mirage.
A pleasure. We'll see as he kind of does a gracious bow for a moment, and as he does so, we'll see as Alex is definitely a lot more clean and such, and they seem to have a little bit of a smile on their face. The gem begins to sort of shine magnificently. You definitely need a little bit of polishing for sure, but seems to be that they're happy as can be.
I'll keep that in mind.
All right.
I should say, also before you go, I would say be very, very careful. I was sort of doing this earlier and such, but there was another individual who was kind of making it a little bit harder than usual to do so. You see as they kind of sort of snarl for a second and kind of groan. This is actually the most really irritated this individual's ever even or has seen since this encounter, you'll see as they're sort of pointing over towards this individual, a Hanu of the sorts.
Oh, really?
Now, if you guys want, you guys can make the first check of this campaign. If you want to make a history check for me, please.
Absolutely.
Oh.
First roll of the campaign. Don't screw it up. This decides all of your fate.
Oh,
You
no.
got it. You got it.
Uh-oh. Let's see here. Said history.
Yep, history. An 11, I don't like that. That's like kind of 50-50, but we'll take it.
Yeah.
We'll take it. We'll take it. Oh, man. Mirage, you want to make a check as well or not?
Sure.
All right, go for it. Oh,
Oh.
that was so close to a 20 and then it went to a 2.
You
man.
wait, and a history check?
Yeah, it's a history check.
And I have a -2 to history.
So a
I
0.
am not a smart boy.
An
Oh,
11
man.
and a 0. All right, we're in for a long one. So here's the last sort of things that your characters get to know before we go to the next group. So a bit about Hanus. Hanus are tricksters. They are, they're based off of Sun Wukong monkey folk and such. Essentially, they really their main existence was to sort of go about this entire world and just sort of live life and enjoy themselves to the fullest, but also even sometimes at the expense of others by playing pranks, playing tricks, all that sort of stuff, and just getting into general sort of mischief. Saying that the likes of this individual was probably the one causing trouble. For the likes of Vapor, it's not unheard of, but you know typically like 9 times out of 10 it's always been good, right? That is basically a little bit that you would learn about Hanus with that 11 and the 0. For Mirage, for you, it's just more of like
That's a monkey.
yeah, basically.
Oh. That's a monkey.
But is there anything else you guys do before you, or you guys just keep heading on?
Yeah,
I'm
just
with
kind of, like, after looking at this guy, turn back to Vapor and just, is he truly causing this much trouble for you? Is this something that needs to be addressed? I can put in a word for you with some of the higher ups.
I think it is fine. They are doing their thing and I'm doing mine. I don't think they're really hurting anybody. But, I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to become a nuisance for the likes of, well, the instructor's sort of teachings toward the north. But nothing we need to.
Yeah, and
Just
kinda-
let us know.
I very
Yeah,
much will. And what was your names again?
Lorian.
Mirage.
Wonderful, splendid names. Splendid names. Wait. You all sound familiar a little bit. I don't know why. Maybe I've seen you. Maybe I've seen your faces somewhere, or lack of face for some of you. But
And I kind of do a deep bow.
as you do. But here, I must get to my work. I will talk to you very soon, I'm sure.
Yes, this was pleasant to meet you. I hope your days go well.
See as they nod, you're free to sort of keep on moving. So you guys can keep moving your tokens and such. And as you're sort of doing, we'll get to that in a minute. But you guys can move past this little area and then come back to you in a bit. But for now, as these two warriors begin to make their way towards the north, of course the likes of where the Arachnid might be waiting, head over to 2 other individuals, or I'd rather say 3, as one may or may not be riding up a horseback. Let's look over towards the wolves. And there you go. So, Afro, In, if you would please be so kind to introduce yourselves and your characters.
All right, young whippersnapper, you go first.
Well, of course I'm going to talk about myself. Like,
And
My
she
character
rolls
is
her eyes.
Fulong.
Okay,
Fulong is 5'11". Oh, did I unmute myself?
Nope, you're good. We can hear you.
Okay. 5'11", pretty stocky little fellow. Wearing bits of chainmail, but he's kind of got a piecemeal because he doesn't like anything on his arms or like overly restricting him. Carrying a pretty well-made glaive. Definitely seen some abuse, but still very functional. Not currently on his horse because he doesn't see it being fit for this type of environment and showing a bit of respect. But yeah, otherwise, I'm Justin, Afro Samurai on the server. This is my second Auroraverse campaign. Yeah, other than that, that's just I'm playing a Cavalier fighter. Human. Or very human, technically.
Glad to have you back, buddy. Go ahead and introduce your character.
Hello, my name is N. You can call me N. I am on the server as GM of Revan. You'll see me around a lot on PA server. I am playing the very interesting X-Blood ranger named Alcmene. And couple things about her. She is serious. She is grumpy. She is spry. She will slay a great monster one day. That's all you really need to know about her. She's also kind of ancient that requires a lot of. She doesn't know where she comes from. She doesn't know how long she's been in Voden, but she's been around. Yeah, and that's Alcmene.
Nice. Alcmene and Fulong. Oh, actually, I'm gonna see if I can get your characters and all that stuff. So, as you guys are kind of walking into the likes of the gates and more, what do you find your characters kind of doing or saying as you do so? While you're doing that, I'll show off your character art. We'll start with you, Fulong. What do you kind of find your character doing?
Oh yeah, he's just kind of like looking around and such, kind of like gauging and seeing the man over there meditating and vaguely seeing the Genasi doing its thing. Looking over at Alcmene. So are we gonna get this task going? Like I'm not gonna prove myself walking around in this tranquil forest.
You're not gonna prove yourself because you're on a horse.
I don't need a horse to slay anything. This just gets me to combat faster.
Think you can keep up?
As you sort of do so, you both sort of take off, and also, Afro, let's try this out real quick. Do you have access to your companion, or is it more so you got to get another one?
Yeah, I can't move him.
All right, gotta get another one. Sorry, buddy. Just change classes. All right, you should be able to move him now.
There he goes.
Sorry, go on.
There we go.
When we get to this point in the bridge, Alcmene will just not even look back towards the young whippersnapper. And can she do acrobatics?
Sure. You trying to jump over
just show
across
off?
to the other? Sure, go for
As
it.
I do.
Yeah, make an acrobatics check as you kind of just walk over towards the ledge, and let's see what you got.
I click.
That is a natural one. Oh goodness, that is a 4. So here's the thing. I don't like never really describing like failures and all that stuff unless you really want me to. So tell me what happens here. What goes wrong to get that nat 1 and get a total of 4 on this check?
The moment she kind of steps off the ledge thinking she could dive into it, she sees a koi fish peering right at her, and she goes. She tries to do the leap, but tries to avoid the koi fish, and then finds herself half dangling onto like a ledge right here, looking at the koi fish in question.
As you kind of do so, you see as it's just sort of looking at you. Kind of some of the other fish have like immediately been startled and sprinting away, but one of them in particular, they kind of look over at you and they're just sort of staring. Strange.
What you looking at?
They look over and he sees they kind of wiggle a little bit. It's almost as if they understood you for a second, as they're just more so they don't seem to be given way or anything like that. But eventually, as you kind of move it out of the water for a second, that you see as they go sprinting as far as they can. They realize this is your turf and they don't want to be anywhere near it.
So are you supposed to show me something, big sis, or like what was that?
You coming or you walking?
I just wanted to watch the spectacle for a moment.
Oh man! And as
See
you're
her not say a word, she'll just ignore that comment, and she'll go, "One of these days, buddy, I will save your life." And then guess what? Guess who's gonna be talking now? And she'll just say this under her breath in abyssal.
See as you're kind of doing so. You'll see as you're kind of doing so, you're just sort of walking about before eventually or not even an individual sort of stopping you. It's more so an explosive sort of bolt begins to fly, almost whizzing past you. And you see as striking over towards the area, you can feel the power emanating from two individuals off to the side. You look over and you see 1 and 2 mages of the sorts battling for something. Not hostile in any way, more so training. You look over and as another arcane bolt nearly flies over your head and strikes into the ground, it is an all-out sort of duel. For this, if you could, I need... Yes, Alchemene, and especially you, Fulong, can you make an insight check for me? And Fulong, I'm gonna actually give you advantage for this check, please.
Okay.
8 for insight, that's all good. You'll still learn a little bit.
Is there a way to give myself advantage? Or
yeah, if you hold the Alt key on keyboard and click the button, then yeah, it'll give you advantage. 18, good stuff. It's between both of you. So, Alchemena, you're able to sort of pick out a lot more of the sort of magical sort of nature of this sort of encounter, but Fulong, you're able to more so understand why they're doing it in the first place. Let me explain. You look over and you see a mage sort of dressed in white, and they're kind of moving gracefully, weaving a series of defensive spells to protect themselves from the barrage of magical attacks coming from the likes of the black mage over towards the side. You see as he is actually calling forth a powerful spell after another powerful spell over and over and over again, and they seem to be testing the likes of their specialties and more. As this is happening, you'll see as Alchemene, an individual off to the side will sort of kind of motion you to sort of step back and not get into the crossfire, but they'll call you over, and even Fulong, if you want to join in, as they seem to be inquiring something from you. But
yeah,
you can
first
feel free to ignore them.
Yeah, first thing was just like looking towards the Genasi. Make way for the great Fulong. Come on.
I'm so sorry. My apologies. You'll see.
I just don't want you to get trampled.
Oh goodness! And they see the giant horse sort of walking in, and they kind of just gracefully, well, not really gracefully. It's more so their grace gets sort of thrown off balance as they nearly get tossed into the actual river over the bridge. But they maintain their balance and they let you continue on. All right.
Oh, I was just watching the spectacle of stuff going on. Who was motioning us towards them?
This individual right over here. Could you see my ping?
Okay. Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah, so as they're kind of doing so, they're looking over towards you two, and they say, that was a close one. Looking over towards you, Alchemene. But these two individuals, they've been at it for probably the past 20 or so minutes, and they still haven't tired yet. So, what
They
say
got
you?
good form.
Good form, true. Almost near perfect, even. But they seem to almost be evenly matched, but I still can't see exactly who's probably going to win. He kind of like puzzles, or is puzzled for a moment. You two look like skilled warriors of the sorts. Which do you think would be superior in this bout? Superior offense or superior defense?
Akamene will just look at Fulong and then look at the young whippersnapper in front of her and go, well, what do you think? What's your name, by the way? I didn't catch it.
Oh, you can just call me Jade.
Jade. Okay, I'll remember that, James.
No, Jade. Jade.
Jade. Gotcha, Jade.
Thank you.
Fulong!
I see no reason to focus on one or the other. Just do them both at the same time. A dazzling display that both keeps those at bay as well as felling your foes.
My money's on the pretty boy over on the far left. Or pretty girl. Or pretty them. Pretty them on the left. far corner. Yeah.
As you sort of look over, you'll see, I see. My bet's on offense for this one. Let's see exactly what Clothis decides. And you'll see as he takes out a small little coin. And you'll see as they'll begin to say, heads, the black mage, tails, the white mage, and I guess if for whatever reason something happens, then I guess you would be the winner in this bout. Let's see what Clothis thinks. It'll flick the likes of the coin upwards, and it'll see as it begins to spin for a moment, and let's see exactly what happens.
There's always a third way.
You'll see
Always a
as
third.
Fulong, you kind of just see as the coin gets flipped up into the air before a bolt strikes into the coin and just sends it flying for a moment. As it does, you see as the coin just goes flying directly into the water, and it just sinks and sinks and sinks. Right about at that second, you see as the individual or the black mage with using all the bit of offensive spells begins to send one massive arcane bolt towards them before eventually you see as their entire sort of arm begins to tense up for a moment. The white mage begins to go into a defensive stance before the shield explodes out. And a miniature sort of explosion begins to occur of arcane energy, sparks flying everywhere. Dust begins to settle. And you look over and you see both of them knocked out completely. It seems to be that they were both superior in their own right. It seems to be that maybe a little bit of both, a balance of offense and defense, would definitely be the better outcome and the better way of fighting. As they are both knocked unconscious.
You focus too much on one thing. Makes it easy to counter. I don't even do magic, and I know that.
Akamene will nod. I agree. She'll look at the two. They are both good warriors. She'll do medicine checks on both of them to see if they're okay.
No need to use a medicine check on them. But from your just general expertise and knowledge, yeah, they'll definitely be fine. I mean, there's bits of nicks and tears and stuff like that, but they're fine. Just a little bit of a nap and they'll be good.
Cool. Is there a place where we can put them to rest, like a much more comfortable position other than on the grass?
Yeah. So what you would probably see is probably just on this little small structure over here. You can kind of set them or prop them up off to the side so they're not necessarily on the grass and all that, right?
Sorry, just this one right here?
Yes, right over here. And you do so. You kind of just drag them over to the side.
She will look over at Fulong. You've got more muscles than I do. My arms are a little bit weak from all the times that I've had to climb trees. I'm just gonna pull the H card here. Do you mind helping me drag these poor sods over here?
Yeah, I can do that.
Thanks,
Then I
Fulong.
will move over, hook one to the backside of my horse, and then have my horse drag them over there.
Easy enough.
A bit unceremoniously.
Yeah, they're kind of like dragging face first into the dirt, but hey, they get there. They get there. Oh, man.
I can take that little bit of abrasion. Then they're not going to be true warriors for the Zao anyways.
Yeah.
You watch as Alchemene very gently pats their faces so that they have some form of dignity despite their dishevelment for both of them, and then she goes, "Good job, Fulong. We're wasting too much time. We gotta get going. We're gonna be late for that meeting."
course.
And she'll nod towards the rest of the warriors, and once we get to this individual, she'll go, "Nice hat!"
Thank you. You'll see as they're kind of like rushing over to try to catch the legs of the koi fish, struggling, flailing about as the fish are just sort of jumping up, slapping him in the face before you just sort of rush over. You see as he tries to wave and then immediately just gets slapped in the face by another koi fish before stumbling.
As they pass by Fulong, you hear Alchemator go, "This is why you don't slap around fish. They will slap back."
Oh, go ahead. Were you gonna say something?
No, I was laughing.
All right. So while this is sort of happening, you'll look over, and two more shadows begin to arrive towards the arachnid. But final two begin to arrive to forge their destiny. Head over back to the gate. Let's see you two introduce yourselves. Wigs and Ebonics. What's up? What's up? If you want to introduce yourselves.
Do you want me to?
I can go first if you want.
You go first, because mine's going to be a little bit longer.
Okay. All right. I'm Ebonics, Jared. Either one works. This is my first time in Project Aurora game, but I've been, stalking the Discords and watching all the VODs and stuff. So I'm excited to be here. I was one of those forever DMs that finally gets to be a player again. I'm playing Akani, an old man that carries a very large warhammer, and he's simply, as he enters in this room, he'll look to Dax, who hasn't introduced himself yet, but he'll just lean over and he'll say, "Do you think it is destiny that we arrive late?"
Destiny does not care. You need to get moving.
Yes, okay, fine.
For that, Squigs, if you would like to introduce yourself and your character.
What up? It's your meme merchant, Dr. Squigums, also known as MySpace user Bean Boozled. Alright, I have been a member of the Auroraverse for a little bit while now, as well as showing up in different campaigns, including one right now called originally Tales of Galacia, but now it's known as The Righteous Sacrifice Debt to Pay, that you're able to catch on twitch.tv/chaotic and writer at 7:30 EST. Not only that, you'll be able to catch some of my streams as well. Some of my streams as they're starting to stream now on twitch.tv/doc_squigums. You'll also be able to catch the YouTube when I'm able to actually catch that one, as well as various other streams that we're going to be having on. That's why I want to go to last.
Are you calling for
Don't forget to check my memes.
Are you calling for my extended car insurance and warranty and stuff?
Yeah, that intro gave me anxiety.
Oh man, I love it. Is it? Also to make sure I got it right. Is it Dak or Doc? Which one?
Doc. Dakrom.
Gotcha. So, Doc, as you and Akani are sort of walking about, what are you guys sort of saying or doing as you're sort of motioning through the legs of the entire monastery or the Temple of Destiny?
I realized I did not describe also that I have my favorite thing is a shamishin on my back. That's not in my art, but
yeah.
Also, I forgot.
And you forgot to introduce yourself.
I did. I forgot to introduce Doc Rome.
Squigs is just playing Squigs. Squigs is
Yeah, pretty
playing
much.
Squigs.
No. It's Doc Rome, Doc Rome or Doc. Doc. Very pragmatic, reserved individual, wearing specialized armor that you'll be able to see later on. I don't want to spoil everything yet. But let's just say right now, not that much of a conversationalist.
Oh, for sure. Connie is definitely like every once in a while saying something and then not getting a response and then acting like he didn't say anything. But before we walk away, the Xylor over here to the right, is he wearing any similar accoutrement to me, or do I recognize like what
Which clan
squad
are you
he
guys
would
from?
be a part of? I am Ox.
What about you, Doc? Or Coyote, I think?
Coyote. Yeah.
You would see as this individual definitely has the clan symbol of the coyote over off to the side. In fact, they
okay,
kind of
never
look a
mind.
little familiar for some strange reason. I don't know, you just can't really put your finger on it. Doc, you especially, you don't know why they look so familiar.
Oh. Want me to roll?
Make an insight. Make an insight check for me, or a history, your choice.
All right, history. It's a lot better for mine. 21.
21. Okay. I can't give you the exact thing, but you know that you've seen this individual in the likes of the Coyotes, sort of headquarters and all that sort of stuff. Their different buildings and all that stuff multiple times. As well as, if the Coyote is ever really seen with anybody, it's always this individual rather than anybody. Besides like the other sort of captains and such. You're not entirely sure what their relationship is to one another, but that definitely is, they seem to be impressive right now. They seem to be very much focused and all that sort of stuff, but they're kind of irritated and groaning after a bit. They're getting frustrated at something, but if there was anybody to like be able to get in good with when it comes to the Coyote, it'd probably be that person. And that's a bit what you got. Oh, up to you. And Akani, you'd be able to kind of roughly know a general sort of gist of them. Maybe not necessarily the whole, like, whenever you go to, like, Coyote sort of training or anything like that. You wouldn't know that part, but all the other stuff, yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, I disconnected for a second.
All good.
But I am joining back to Foundry.
All good.
But I have nothing to say to the Coyote man. Dak is enough Coyote for me. Doc
Fair
is
enough.
enough, sorry.
Gotcha. All right. What about you, Dak? You doing anything or not?
That one. Yeah, I'm gonna walk away.
Enough. As you sort of do so, continue on, and as you eventually do, you can keep moving your character tokens until you get to the Arachnid, or if there's any individual that you want to talk about, or if there's anything that might pop up in the meantime. I'm going to assume Akani is sort of following you until they load back into Foundry, though.
Yeah, it's. I was gonna say. Anybody you looking for? Got a character.
I'm
Hey
saying
there,
that's your Akani.
Kane.
I think
Yeah,
they're
it's
lagging out on
actu-
Discord.
No, my accountability buddy.
The talker of the two! No!
Wait,
Okay, I think I'm back. I'm not sure why this is happening. I was fine every time else until it's my turn to talk. That's
Oh,
weird.
no, you're good. Happens to the best of us, trust me.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I will. I think we are a silent walk well, not silent, but every once in a while, me saying something. I'm assuming I've been to the Temple of Destiny before.
Yeah, you all have at least, maybe some of you
Yeah.
more than once, but at least once, all of you.
So. Oh well, this is fun. What are you doing?
As you look over towards the water genasi, you'll see as he'll begin to say, "Oh, nothing much. I was in the middle of cleaning the koi fish," and you'll see as he kind of lifts up for a moment, and you'll see as he actually freezes the water for a second before taking the koi fish and begins to start cleaning them off. I was doing that until I nearly got trampled by an individual a couple of moments ago, but I'm trying to find my rhythm back, you know? What of you?
Strong footing is what you need.
I'm trying, but this sort of druid craft and such, I'm very inexperienced when it comes to it. You both seem like good warriors. Seem like we're getting a lot today. Would you have any sort of tips or pointers? And you'll see as he kind of does a little bit of the form and small bits of kata, kind of asking for your judgment. It's very much, it's graceful, but it doesn't have really much of any practicality. There's a lot of wasted movement. There's a lot of more so things that take longer than it kind of needs to be, and rather than just getting to the point of the actual use or practicality of the actual event or action.
Could I flip my hammer over to the pointy end and like adjust his stance as he does stuff? Like just start adjusting without asking.
Yeah. As you sort of do so, they'll graciously take it as you kind of correct their feet. They kind of trip up a little bit, but then eventually after about 30 seconds to a minute, you see as they had finally gotten their rhythm due to the likes of your help. And eventually you'll see as they're not only just lifting the legs of one koi fish at a time, they're lifting multiple, 2, maybe even 3 at some points. You see as they look over with a warm smile and begin to nod in thanks. As they begin to say, but more so trying to focus and saying, thank you. This is magnificent. I'm able to clean faster than ever before. Say, what is your names?
I am Akani, and now you move like a well-tuned instrument. And now I just walk away.
With that, as you do so, look over towards Doc. And
Doc's just gone. Doc says nothing.
And they're kind of like, as they're sort of doing the motions, they're like, oh, and what is your name? And then you're just already gone.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, easy enough. As you kind of do
As with that, I walk over next to Akane and just go. Alright. Just go over to Akane and just go. Better form, not practical. Easy to run. Never should get directly in a fight. Aim for the jugular when they're sleeping. Best way to deal with problems.
Oh man, a few words. Oh, I'm sorry. You are male or female? I actually did not ask that. Doc, are you male or female or?
Put it simply, I do not care for how long the mission is stated.
Understood. As I follow Doc, I look over to the sleeping people and I say, "Oh, how I wish that was me right now."
As
You know, coming out of retirement isn't fun. Coming out of retirement isn't fun, but I guess it's the duty.
As you're kind
Not
of
duty.
So you'll look over and kind of see as there are multiple individuals that are kind of training and such, but they'll kind of notice the likes of your presence and they'll kind of like make way and such. You'll see as more individuals are sort of training as they to their heart's content, but you'll see as the individual leading the likes of this class will tell them to disperse and make way for you guys.
No eye contact, look nothing, just keep going forward.
Yeah, that. Sorry.
This is so uncanny for Squigs to play a character that doesn't talk.
That doesn't. I agree. I've watched them.
I love it. This is hilarious. Oh man. As you all, or as you both eventually do, is there anything last that you kind of say before you eventually arrive with everyone else over to?
Do I see the group, like my merry band of mischiefs, if you will, right now?
Oh, most definitely. There is a lot of mischief and there are a lot of misfits to go along with it.
Perfect. I'm gonna analyze each and every one of them.
Mhm.
Look over at my accountability buddy. Look over at Mirage. Look at Mirage first.
That
Yeah,
one has my
Mirage
face.
is definitely crisscross applesauce on the floor, pretending to be as pious and religious looking as he can.
First one to die.
What is your over/under on the young upstart with the horse?
Going up to the horse.
Now, currently, Fu would be leaning against it, his glaive on his back, kind of watching, listening a bit to Alcamene, like, chide him over something, I'm sure.
Third one to die. He'll have Bruce in him. Idiot, but at least be able to hold himself.
Insightful. What about the
Moth's
old
second
lady?
one.
They're
If
kind of
not from
different.
mage, definitely from looks of it, naivete. Last one's probably the old one. If they're able to last this long, they have a chance to survive it longer.
Well, I listen to you on the matters of those things. So, as long as I continue to live a long and fruitful life, hopefully underneath my tent, playing my shamisen, listening to nothing. That would be great, but
Even as long as the woman, but you'll live longer than most.
Are we
I
hearing
appreciate
this?
it. We're not whispering.
This is probably whispering.
Oh, a little whispering?
Okay, if you're whispering, I'll tell you what. If anybody wants to try to listen in, you can make a perception check. DC will be pretty decent. Be pretty difficult, but you can certainly try.
So are you gesturing to an instrument?
No, I just have it on my back. I reference it, but I'm not gesturing to it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go for that perception check.
Go for it.
Yeah, I'll say Dak is probably whispering. I'm probably saying my responses out loud.
Okay. Oh, Mirage, by the way. So I see that you're rolling out this way. So here's what you're gonna do for like checks and all that stuff. So double click on your character sheet. So,
okay.
Double click on your token. Oh, left click on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then you'll see your entire character sheet over there. So if you click on the check, whatever the name is, then it'll roll everything for you. And then it'll add the modifiers and all that sort of stuff.
You said left click on my token?
Mm-hmm. Just left click twice.
Because twice.
Did it open up?
Yep. Awesome.
Alright, and then make a perception check by clicking perception, and then we'll go from there.
I'll say I did roll a 10 already, so I don't want to get advantage.
Oh no, you're fine.
But
it's more so just to test everything out, just make sure this works.
Okay.
But you're gonna get it 11 or whatever.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay,
Right.
I'll take the 11.
Yeah, we'll take 11.
So 11, 13, Ted, Alchemina, you're probably only hearing whatever Akani sort of saying. But besides that, you're not hearing what Doc is saying at all. More so, you kind of just think that Akani is sort of speaking out loud to them or talking to themselves for whatever reason.
I kind of just perk up and don't necessarily reference, but pull out a flute and just start to play it to see if I can allure a possible musician.
Do so. You begin to, and which instrument is this? You said?
It's just a flute.
Gotcha. As you begin to take out the lights,
Just like a wooden flute,
to sort of start playing and more. Eventually, you guys are able to sort of notice and hear the beautiful sounds and more. As this is sort of happening, is anybody else doing anything, or are you just sort of minding your own business?
Yeah, Lorian was kind of, just standing here waiting for everyone to assemble, just kind of idly, petting Alex. And as soon as Mirage pulls out that flute, he just his attention is fixated, and he just kind of silently to himself is just please don't embarrass us. Please don't embarrass us.
Never.
Goodness. Alright. As you guys are all sort of doing this, eventually one by one you all have gathered forth in front of the likes of woman herself. Let me explain exactly what you guys see upon doing so. You look over and you see where is it? You look over and see a woman, and immediately you're struck by the likes of her beauty and her presence. This long, sort of dark hair and eyes that seem to sort of swirl with the shades of emerald green. her skin, or just even the aura around her, it's cold. For some strange reason, you're not sure why. You feel, each and every single one of you, every single time you make just the slightest bit of eye contact with her, a strange chill begins to creep up your spine as she just stares aimlessly back. Regardless, she's dressed in royal blue robes that is trimmed in gold and accented with, again, those ornate spider legs that I mentioned stretching out behind her.
Whoa.
Regardless, you look over, and while she looks formidable, her demeanor is curiously inviting and almost gentle. Yet, that strange glimmer, you can't really get an idea on it. Something sinister is more or beneath that. That is the nature of the arachnid. Now, some of you guys may know this well, but regardless, he invites you all. Begins to say, yes. It seems to be that all of you have finally decided to not keep us waiting for any longer. Welcome, friends. It seems to be that each and every one of you are all accounted and attended for, and you see as she begins to kind of almost meticulously begin to start counting each and every one of you, examining you for what you are and what you stand for a moment. First things first, report, make sure that everything is in order. As she looks towards probably the first individuals to arrive here, being Mirage or Lorian, either one of you can report to them. Now, in typical sort of, more so for context, you can kind of do what you want, but typically reporting to the Zhao Dynasty or a captain is more so if there's anything interesting your character sort of found recently, or anything your character's done that was interesting recently, you can easily say that, but also just make sure to at least say your name and all that sort of stuff, and which clan or which captain you fall under, if any. So,
All right.
So yeah, I was gonna say, so me and Mirage are actually under the arachnid, so we would just address her, and just as the arachnid, we wouldn't like when introducing, basically.
Nah, it's nothing special for her if you fall
Okay.
under her. But it's still done as a safety precaution, anyways, just in case.
Sure. Okay, so I walk up to her and do my deep bow and stand up and kind of go back into my completely me form and just kind of say, well, I'm Mirage, as you know. Nothing to report as of yet, which is a little boring, but I'll find some fun gossip.
I see that some things haven't changed, but your joyous personality remains the same. Glad to see that you are so well.
There was a fun. There was what was the race that was the trickster race? What was it called?
Oh, Jinxlings.
The monkey one that we saw earlier.
Oh, that one. The Hanu.
Hanu. Okay, so I'll lean in and go. This seems to be a little tiff between the Hanu and the Genasi back there, so that might be fun to dig up later. But we'll see where the day brings us.
I see. Yes, that one has been a little bit of a problem, but they'll be fine. We have other more important things to worry about, especially with the likes of one of your brothers or sister again. We apparently have lost one of the Jinxlings and such, so I don't know if you ever talked to them, but by the name of Strix. Apparently they're gone, and we don't know exactly where. So, congratulations. You're the #1 Jinxling in the Zhao Dynasty.
Do I know Strix?
Probably not. Mainly because it's hard to track down a Jinxling because they're always changing shape, right? Or changing forms and all that stuff. But,
Yeah.
You might have known like there was another one of you guys around here.
Okay, so I'll lean in and go. Maybe I am Strix, but I don't know. Maybe that's just Maybe it's Strix taking two different forms. Have you ever seen me and Strix in the same place at the same time?
That sounds like a headache, but hopefully you are Strix. That would make my life a lot easier. Now, come now. We must hurry up with the reports, or we can get you on your task. They look over. They won't say your name, but they, for safety precautions, but they'll look over towards Lorian.
Yeah. Give a small bow, and just Lorian here to report. There has been little of note occurring today. I believe Mirage has already updated you on local camp comings and goings. There has been little word spreading through camp. Nothing of note. And as he kind of says that, he just kind of scans the arachnid for any kind of, reaction to the implication of like rumors spreading.
You'll see. Make an insight check for me. Give you advantage.
She said Alt and then click for advantage.
Mm-hmm. And while you're doing that, or what exactly did you say? Just make sure I got the specifically.
Just that there had been no word or no. Dang, what did I say? Like there had been nothing eventful and no.
No rumors, so to speak.
No words being spread through camp. Like no gossip, basically.
Gotcha. You'll look over and she'll begin to say, unlikely, but there's always a couple of webs spinning and such. Even here, as simple of a life it may be. But no news is, for the most part, good news. Welcome back. But we have other people. Form up. Let us get this over with. And fast. They'll look over towards the next individual and they'll look towards Alchemine.
And my insight, I guess, was a 25?
For 25, no real reaction from them. It was more so they were looking to see, if anything, it's more of a bit of relief rather than anything. Relief that other things may not aren't being spread and all that sort of stuff, but that's about it. Besides that, that little bit of 25, look over towards them and it's definitely strange. You did beat the DC for this. Whenever they speak to you, they kind of like pause for a second, and then they respond. More so like several awkward seconds pass by, and then they respond. Like as if it's a strange delay in between. But
right.
Not sure what that's all about though.
Okay. Noted. But yeah, seeing, I guess, clocking at least the relief, he would, kind of give a small smile and then straighten up for the rest of the assembly.
Enough. All right. They look towards Alchemine and Fulong. Go for it.
Walking on up. Fulong of the Wolf Clan. Haven't had anything interesting. Nothing good to fight lately. She probably knows more. Big sis, you fill her in.
Alchemine will nod, and then she will look to the leader of one of the of the clans and tribes and go, Alchemine. Nothing to report. Also from the Wolf Clan.
I see. Sadly, your captains are gone for the likes of the evening. They're training for the likes of the tournament. More on that later, but glad to hear there's nothing of interest for the likes of you. Good to hear. Welcome for the likes of this mission. The wolves' sort of ferocity will be needed for this thing, especially. Things go down. Now, you two. Look over towards Doc and the likes of Akani. I'll call for you two next.
Connie straightens up. He was leaning on one of like those lampposts. He straightens up and does probably I'm not sure if the evolution of like formal bows in the dynasty have changed, but if it has, he's doing like a very old style of bowing, and he simply says, Akani, the ox says hey. And nothing to report.
You'll see as they sort of chuckle for a moment and they'll say, you bow like Hannibal did. No need to be so formal around here. You know that well. Glad to see you are
When in
fine.
Rome.
Go ahead.
I said when in Rome.
They'll chuckle and they'll look towards Doc.
Doc, Coyote, nothing to report. What's the mission?
Straight to the point. Wonderful. Now, everything seems in order and such. We need to get going and get through this. You guys are behind schedule, so I'll just make this quick. But let me do one little thing. Let me kick Terrybot out for 2 seconds. Oop. Bring him on in here.
Terry.
Now, Terrybot might break after this, and if it does, that's fine. I'm just gonna throw you guys the track. To work? Yeah, I think it worked. Yeah, it worked. Cool. So, as you guys begin to do so, you'll see as eventually the arachnid, all sort of bits of friendliness, all bits of sort of casual speak begins to just sort of immediately drop, almost along with the lengths of her sort of shoulders for a moment as they kind of go slack. As this begins to happen, you look over and you'll see as she begins to walk in and under the likes of this small little structure of the sorts. You'll see, though you can't see it on the map, there is a small little gate that you guys can sort of all walk in and enclose yourself in this sort of square-ish area. She invites you all to step into the likes of the gate and join her. One by one, as you kind of do, you look around and you can see as there are these runes in the of the source that are kind of plaguing the floor, the walls, and all of the entire area around you. Bits of transmutation and conjuration magic, but eventually, as the doors begin to close, as Doc is the final one to head into the likes of this strange structure, eventually, you feel a sort of jostling motion. You watch as the walls of the elevator light up and the runes and symbols start glowing this bright blue. Some of you almost begin to glow blind from it, especially the older individuals, but eventually begin to slowly start descending. We're on a magical elevator of the sorts. It seems to be that even the monastery, a place of peace, a place of where you could practice the mystical arts. Even then, technology still has its point and purpose. Eventually, though, you all begin to smell the likes of an aroma of exotic flowers and fresh herbs, and the sound of trickling water echoes throughout this strange garden greenhouse that eventually you guys enter into. You find yourselves here. One by one, as you step out of the likes of the gates and begin to start walking through, you find as this artificial sun is kind of shining through here, probably done through magical means. And you look over and you see as suddenly, or there seems to be kind of in the center of the garden, there's a giant tree in the middle of it. Its branches reaching out towards you as if it's inviting you in, but You realize it's not necessarily a tree. Connie, a perception check with advantage.
Alrighty. Perception check, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, that didn't work. Okay. Alt.
Oh, you did disadvantage, but that's all good. 16,
sorry.
easy enough, easy enough. So, this is pretty easy to figure out, but the thing is not necessarily a tree, and it seems to be actually the sort of brutish figure of the likes of, well, your boss, the ox.
Yeah, I was going to say as soon as I noticed them, I clean up, stand at attention.
But one thing that you learn with that 16 is that they're sitting upon a sort of makeshift throne that other individuals have sort of crafted and made for them. They seem to be sort of tending to a bit of armor and more, and sharpening the legs of their blade also into the process. You look over and they seem to, funny enough, have some blacksmithing tools as well, but not necessarily, they're not like making this whole place a little miniature forge. They seem to be enhancing and enchanting some sort of weapon as they're slamming a hammer on a rune onto the likes of a blade. The blade begins to shine a purple light, and eventually, as soon as that happened with that perception check, the arachnid begins to sort of hear a cracking sound next to her. She begins to walk over and speak. Come with me. We will be able to continue the likes of our mission and debrief here. At the north, yes. She begins to start moving with a little bit more of haste.
I can't move.
What? You can't move?
I can't move because I got no token.
Oh, what the heck? Oh, why are you not here? You did a disappearing act on me. Yeah, I gotcha. Oop. There you go.
Whoa.
As you're kind of doing so, eventually kind of sort of walking through the likes of the water and more, and eventually as you kind of meet towards the north, you see as the ox, they kind of are looking and eyeing each and every one of you guys kind of down. They stare at each and every one of you, and you can kind of feel, even though they say nothing, you feel the likes of their gaze in this intense fashion. Though it's almost as if they're judging, and almost this strange magical force is sort of almost oppressing you or sort of sending you further and further into the ground. They don't speak, but you almost feel drawn to obey their commands by some sort of force. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm looking back. Give him a little bit of an eye, but saying nothing and just walking.
As you do so, you see as your eye contact begins to meet, or begins to sort of trail off. They look over for you to eventually get with the likes of the other individuals. As you do.
Yeah, I would try to make like a conscious effort to just like eyes forward, like not even catch him in the periphery, just like completely like walk past and just kind of like, you know, hands kind of in like a small pocket, like of the cloth of the sleeve, just kind of like tense up a little bit.
Am I able to like make a Arcana check or something to see what boss is doing?
Sure, you can make an Arcana check.
Can I as well?
Yes, you can. 7 and 13. This is a strange ass dude. I'll tell you that much. Strange person. Probably just, you know, normal bits of enchantment magic, right? Like, you know, your typical commands, spells, and all that. Maybe. Or something more, but you're not sure what.
Yeah, always freaks me out, so I'm definitely on my P's and Q's.
As you do, you'll see as Arachnid will begin to look over and say, I hope that you appreciate the likes of this decor. We decided to mimic it after one of our contacts, if you will. They might be even a friend of yours, a specific grim individual, and they look over towards you, Alchemene. You know exactly who they're referring to.
Alchemene doesn't move, doesn't budge, doesn't blink an eye. She just looks on with like her crazy eyes going, this is news to me, so what?
We decided to sort of model the aesthetic of this area. We figured that we could use it for a couple of other things and such. More on that later. Irrelevant for now. Let's get to the task at hand. So, this is a very, very important mission, and by the likes of the dragon themselves. As you all know, the likes of the Biani tournament is arriving very, very soon, only within a matter of days. And we have tried our best to get more prepared as much as we possibly can, and train each and every one of you, along with ourselves, to our limits and such. However, let us not be coy. We, for those of you who are new, hope this doesn't surprise you too much, but the tournament of Biani, it's rarely ever won by the likes of pure strength and honor. And as she sort of says this, you'll see as a couple of the other individuals, a couple of the warriors and guards begin to start chuckling for a moment and start laughing for a second at even the thought of it. Before they begin to, or before the arachnid speaks and says, but everyone will be using every bit or every stop and every means to be able to succeed and win and gain this power from the likes of Azuriha, one of the dragon sages. Now, though my mark is for the likes of Jormungandr, and you'll see as she begins to sort of open up the likes of the palms of her hands and such, and you'll see as there's a golden dot on one and a sort of black dark dot on the other. It's kind of like a Ouroboros symbol on both. Though my marks are referencing Jormungandr, it seems that other individuals have more of an interest in the likes of Azuriha's power. Now, we need to make sure that we get at this power and we win this tournament. You all know that if we do not, then the Kalani Council, the Vulcan, the oh so gracious and coveted Voden Knights, yes, them, they'll be more of a pain than they need to be. Now look, war is on the horizon, and yes, I know, we're already at war with the likes of the Council and the Falcon. The likes of the Starry Folk have been able to put delay on that. But the Voden Knights will soon face their own eradication after the likes of this tournament. That's just for sure. However, if we want to do so, we need to make sure that we strike first before they strike us. Is that clear?
Yes.
And in what way are
yes.
we striking?
Well, we have our own sort of means. We've been sending a couple of scouts and such amongst their premises and such. We have all this sort of necessary information for a frontal assault, but we don't need to necessarily do that. We want to more so strike and get as much, how you say, agents into their ranks as we can. If we're able to strike from the front, but we're also able to strike from within, then our victory will be guaranteed. But how exactly do we strike from within? That is where you all come in.
Yes.
You see, our scouts have been looking into the likes of the jungles of Voden. And apparently, there is a beautiful, beautiful crown that allows the wielder to shapeshift or even assume some sort of form. Now, Mirage, this is nothing crazy to you. Not at all, especially with your talents and capabilities. But it's a little bit more to it. You see, not only would one be able to take the form of said individual, but also assume abilities of said individual. I'm talking almost a pure replicative copy of the other. Have any of you heard of replication magic at all?
Ish,
Maybe a little bit.
some of it.
Alchemene, you know lots and lots about replication magic. We'll get to that in a second. Connie, not so much. Doc, it's a newer magic that is kind of like on the surface or that's like kind of just rising in the likes of Voden. It's very, very much dangerous though. Lorian, you've heard of it, and it is. You're gonna learn about the same stuff about Alchemene, maybe a little bit more. All right.
Magic.
Oh boy, yeah,
Is
right.
Is it Fey magic?
So, is it Fey magic? No, it wouldn't be classified as Fey magic. So, replication magic. This is what you Alchemene and Lauren, you would know. It's extremely dangerous, and what I mean by that is just even casting it almost is so volatile that you or the wielder would actually almost have a chance of never being able to cast it ever again. And in fact, it drains your life force upon doing it. Now, through various means, you might have heard of other individuals that you might be close with or not that have actually casted said magic, and the effects have been detrimental to the likes of their own health and well-being, but it also, and Lauren, you would know this part, it has addictive qualities and properties as well, almost like a drug. Once a user begins to cast it, they almost feel inclined to cast it again and again and again. But only said thing happens and occurs if they've cast it multiple times, and especially in rapid succession. Now, such a tool is being used by the likes of the Zhao dynasty. Definitely would wonder what type of safety precautions, if any, the dynasty would have for it for sure. But you're definitely familiar with replication magic. Oh, and last sort of thing, it's a mixing of, it's another type of dunamancy magic, aka chronergy and graviturgy. It's the third one in or Project Aurora.
Yeah, so I guess Lorian would ask, so this crown, is it subject to the same detriments as normal replication magic? Is this something that will be easier to use, or is it just a more powerful version of what we already have?
It would be good for it to be more safe, but I hope to see and witness the individual who is willing to fight for the cause and lay their life, or potentially lay their life on the line, not question whether their life would be forfeit upon using this crown. I'm not saying this as I am disappointed or ashamed of you. No, not at all. It's more so such a matter in the grand scheme of things to save Voden, give us a life that we wouldn't have to worry about dying or being erased and forgotten every day. Such a small sacrifice should not be much of a concern. Translation: they don't give a fuck.
Yeah, so are we is our group to use this crown, or are we simply delivering it?
Well, prove yourself to the dragon, really make a name for yourself and complete this task with flying colors. And I'll tell you one thing. You may come along with us to the island of Bayani, if you so wish. And also, if you really want to get into the good graces of the dragon and have a power like no other, then maybe, just maybe, you'll be the one using said crown.
I will not disappoint you.
So, oh boy. All right. Here's what. So, for this next part, Soulbound, anybody listening to the stream or whatever, skip the next minute of the legs of this stream if you don't want spoilers, or you can mute the stream for the next minute or so. Time to get the juicy details. The arachnid will begin to speak and say, look, we have a couple of individuals that we wish to sort of replace. The soulbound are the specific one. We look to essentially use the likes of this crown, capture one of them, and replace them in the likes of said tournaments. Once we do so, we can throw as many fights as we need. And once everything is said and done, we head back to the likes of their respective areas. And now we have a sleeper agent, although the likes of these soulbound are none the wiser. I hear a couple of you aren't really fond of a certain self-proclaimed God King Agony. Let's see exactly how powerful this god is when they're stabbed in the back. Now, what do you say about that?
What are the coordinates for this relic, madame?
Perfect. You don't need to worry about the coordinates, as the relic isn't exactly known where it shall be exactly. That is your job to find it. But the jungles of Jaded Dragon Valley, while you know that we are extremely far away, we'll be using the likes of one of the yokai spirits. They will transport you to one of these sort of one of the differing sort of oceanic areas of Voden. From there, you should be able to treat this as a shortcut to the likes of the jungle. Find what you need, and find it fast. Or if you don't, well, everything that I've mentioned in the likes of this meeting is, well, impossible. And then you will all earn the wrath. I included, will earn the wrath of the dragon. And no one, I mean no one, is to deal with that. Trust me, please.
Consider it done.
Good.
Understood.
We will leave at once.
Well, last sort of thing, out of game. Is there any questions that you have for the arachnid or anybody at all? Last chance to be able to do it.
Okay, this is question. Can Echoes be activated by name, or it has to be face?
Face or name, kind of can be either. Depends on what happens and depends on
Okay.
when it says so.
Okay, then in that case, another question. Can I roll Echo?
For what specifically? And I got you.
Agony.
Yeah, you can. yeah, you can. Roll your highest saving throw, my friend.
Nice saving throw?
Same thing with you, Ren. Yep.
Frickin' shit.
Yep.
Wait, hold on. Does that also apply to anyone who's been in Sands of Sin?
No one here has been in Sands of Sun.
Sweet. Okay,
Fuck.
then not just.
Oh,
So
that's-
it's just us. Let's go.
Yeah.
Saving throw, right?
Yep, highest saving throw you've got. Let's see what happens.
Alright, let's see. Come on.
Roll
Classic.
that.
Ah!
Yep.
Well,
Damn it.
15. Close, but no cigar.
Yeah.
As this kind of happens, you guys feel both of your heads begin to start getting almost pierced with a splitting sort of pain. You both begin to grab your head in unison for a moment before Alchemine, you kind of feel yourself, you're small in nature, but you look over and you find yourself in a crowd, but they're all sort of looking at you. They're all staring into your soul, and you're not sure why. For you, Doc, you look over and you hear the name of Acne over and over and over again as it begins to start repeating into your into the likes of your brain. You feel the fire and brimstone building up amongst pretty much your entire mind palace for a moment as it's all being set aflame, but no memories are triggered. No memories are gained.
So what just happened?
The game. Let me explain. So, essentially, in Voden, welcome to Voden. It sucks. Essentially, there's this thing in Project Aurora called Echoes. Now, only some of you have Echoes. Zypher, you have an Echo. In you have an Echo, obviously. Doc, you have Echoes. Long, you also have Echoes. But Ebonks and Game Master, you guys do not. Essentially, an Echo is another term for a previously played character in Project Aurora. And essentially, whenever your character in Voden hears something remotely similar to something your other character may have learned or maybe even experienced, you might, not all the time, but you might experience what's known as an echo call. And you might live through portions of said character and gain a little bit of their information and context and stuff like that. There's other things that can happen due to echo calls, but they haven't happened yet in Voden because no one's rolled high enough yet.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing too is that at a character, I have played with Sean in 2 different types of campaigns.
Mm-hmm.
So is that I have a connection with the echoes for both his character Scoop and his wizard he played in the Gold Mercers Guild.
But that's about it. So, anyways, the Arachnid will look over and say, if there's no other questions, then you're all dismissed. Let us get going. Fast. Now, you'll see as
Definitely leaves.
the Arachnid will begin to start walking over and start escorting you guys out. Go ahead.
I did want to ask, due to the nature of this mission, would there be any assistance from the Dynasty? Any equipment or potions or anything to aid in this venture, since it is such an important task?
Much as I can maybe spare something, but it is your choice. We've been trying to save as many resources and health potions for the likes of this tournament and such, so we have more so supply for the likes of the fighters. If you wish to take from the supply to ensure your mission's success, then I can allow so, but do not expect more support when you return. So. You'll see as they'll begin to look over, and eventually you'll kind of see as the ox will actually jump down, splash into the water, and as they begin to do so, they'll kind of follow behind you. You'll see as the Arachnid begins to take out several vials and such, and hands each and every one of you a vial. You guys all gain 1 small potion of healing.
Whoa.
You see as they kind of hand the Arachnid hands the likes of 1 to you, Lorian. You'll see as they begin to grab it and begin to say, "Oh, my bad, that one's poison. I'm just messing with you. You're fine."
Do we need to add it to inventory, or is it something?
Nah, I got
Okay.
you. Yeah, I'm gonna add it. I'm gonna add it in the background and all that stuff. If it ever, just remember in the back of your head that you guys got a potion of healing for whatever
Yeah,
reason
sure.
it doesn't get added. You know?
Okay.
As you kind of do, just you kind of walk over back to the little magical elevator, and you see as you do so, the ox just kind of walks right behind you, and it's kind of you ever know that little feeling when you just feel someone's like behind you, or like there's just like you can just sense almost someone's presence. Yeah, it's like that. But you look over if you want to. You don't hear anything. They don't say anything. They just exist right behind you, watching. Eventually,
Is it
Oh, good.
Is
Can
it
I-
possible before we get on the elevator, if I can like go past the ox and ask him if he has anything special that he needs me to do while on this mission specifically? I can try to whisper it if necessary.
You'll see as they don't speak to you, but you hear a word, not in their voice, spoken in your mind. Trophy. I want you to
Understood.
bring a trophy of anything that you've killed, or a big beast that you've killed, prove that you've done the job. That's it. That's all they request of you.
All right, then I'd simply say by any means necessary and get on the elevator.
Was anybody trying to do something? For sure.
I just wanted to do one quick insight check, but it's okay. It's good.
Oh, if you want, go for it. What were you trying to do?
I think I was just trying to suss out whether or not I trust the arachnid as Alchemede.
Oh boy, make an insight check for me.
Just for funsies. I do not. I do not trust her. I do not trust that woman.
Well, let me explain.
Understood.
Let me explain. Oh boy, 24. All right, you've been looking at it. You've been watching this entire scene play out. Been hinting towards it even subtly. The arachnid, they walk, but something's going on with them. You're not sure what. Walking, they're moving, but it's not natural. It's more of like robotic or forced or anything like that, right? You look over towards their eyes, those green swirling eyes, and you've seen the arachnid before, but it's not really normal. No, not at all. The other thing you would have noticed is that underneath the ox's mask, I won't have the highest passive perception or really insight enough, but see there's faint bits of green sort of glowing past the mask as well. Something is possibly the ox is controlling or doing something to the likes of the arachnid. But as you're sort of looking at this, you're not the only individual who's picked up on it. That individual knows who they are, and they can message you on Discord right now. They've been kind of eyeing this individual every now and again, just kind of figuring out what the heck is going on. But yeah.
Roger. I will wait for that message when the time is right.
You would have probably noticed them with that insight check, looking every now and again.
Absolutely. And I would also make sure that once we get to a place that is out of Zhao territory, that's when I'll make my other moves.
You'll probably want to wait a little bit. You'll know. It'll be clear when you want to do that.
Absolutely.
All right. Next thing. So, as you guys eventually begin to leave, or this sort of garden and such, the magical runes light up again, and you're carried upwards. But you look up and you find that the entire monastery, it's sort of transformed. It's not how not how exactly you left it. Fairy boss being stupid. Grab this. Right there.
God damn you, homeowners association.
And there we go. Maybe. Is Fairy bot acting dumb? It might be acting dumb now. Might be. Have to start dropping the tracks. Yeah, it's acting dumb. All right, here. I'm gonna drop the tracks in the Alexa in-game content chat. You can just start playing them over there. We were prepared, and you can go through there. And then maybe if Terrybot wants to start acting, then we can get that fixed up.
Just as a side thing, would I have been like looked at or beheaded or something for picking some flowers that are in this area?
Oh no.
Okay. I'm going to pick a couple, just kind of while I'm listening, walking around the room, picking some.
Enough. As you sort of do so, this is what you kind of see. You look over, and in the likes of the monastery of the sorts, you notice that the sun has set. The sky is also a deep, star-speckled blue. The pond that you guys had been crossing over, you look to find now it is home to a majestic koi-fish yokai spirit. You look to see as its scales are glimmering in the starlight, and the spirit is actually beckoning you as if it's almost inviting you to join it in the skies. It begins to sort of float in the air and also throughout the legs of the entire monastery. You see this beautiful spectacle. You look over, and as each of these stars and these strange sort of almost bubbles are sort of flying about, the arachnid sort of watches. You'll see as look over and wait for any individual to stop staring in awe and sort of get with the program and start heading over.
Before they get on, Malcolmani will look towards Fulong and just sidestep so that they can go first.
Is that horse getting on here too?
The boy doesn't have his horse. You're like choking off a very important part of his soul. Horse is getting on.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah,
Trying to
Lorraine
get
just
him to
kinda-
walk on his own 2 feet himself. I know.
As you all begin to sort of step forth, you begin to see as eventually the arachnid looks over and begins to say, "Do not be impressed and such with the yokai. They are a good friend, but also they cannot doubt the likes of their usefulness, as the yokai have been gracious to Dynasty. If you ever find yourself near the likes of, how you say, a great body of water, call for the likes of the spirits, and they will arrive. This will be used for the likes of your arrival, but also your departure. For whatever reason, this mission, I can't even fathom it. If this mission ever becomes close to a failure, retreat to the likes of the water, call for the spirit's name. Will be taken with it.
Do we know the spirit's name?
You do not know the spirit's name.
What's the name?
Oh. See as he looks over, and their name is Zeratai, the unstoppable warrior of the destiny and destruction. We just call him Bob. There you go.
So, why are we? So, what is the actual transportation looking like?
You'll see as, well, the yokai spirit speaks, and they begin to say this. Well, essentially, what you all will be able to do is just hold on climb inside, and I will be able to escort you through all the waters of Voden. But if you want to look around, that's fine. Just, if you're not keen to water, I advise you to close your eyes.
Well, I may have a solution that might benefit everyone. Bob, I have a question. Do you like hats?
I've never worn a hat. I've never had.
And I
enough for me.
I sit down, and Sensei, you can tell me if this is possible, but I start to cast Lehman's tiny hut on top to give him a little hat, and we can have a little bubble while we go swim.
I like it. Yeah, as you sort of cast the likes of, oh my god, I need to order this. You kind of cast the Liam and Tiny Hut on top of Bob, and as you sort of do so, Bob they're loving it. They have a little dome hat, little dome cap on top of them, and you guys are easily enough able to sort of squish together to kind of like make sure you're kind of able to get to where you need to be. Bob is
Okay.
very, very happy right now.
So I sit down and just kind of play a tune that I think would match this location on the flute as I cast, and you start to see the swirls around start to build that hat.
Oh, he's quite useful.
And I just I do a little, smirk, like a head nod without a face. So I'll say, I would hope that Mirage would still be very animated. So he kind of does this kind of little perk at, the compliment.
Oh, adventurers, are you ready to go?
Yep.
Yes.
Let's go.
Let's go. So, as you all begin to do so, you see as Bob begins to start submerging themselves into the likes of the water before one by one, eventually you all begin to disappear and dissipate. Now, so something that your characters don't see or witness is something that you as players get to know. As you look over for a moment, you see as the arachnid begins to look over for their arms, their head, everything goes slack-jawed. You stop. And you see as the ox begins to continue moving for a moment. As they do, they start walking over towards them for a voice somewhere begins to emanate. Not from the ox, not from another warrior of here. You hear the voice begin to speak and say, "Why exactly are you still playing with that corpse? Find it disrespectful that you still use it as a display for what she did. But serves her right, I guess. You know what? Actually, this might be a bit fitting. She believes the orcs are tools, so she can be the dynasty's puppet. Never mind. Carry on instead." That, the ox nods. You see as the arachnid's body begins to crack, begins to reanimate. Shall we be going then? Where the scene fades, and you guys eventually heading somewhere else. Eventually, as you guys are kind of all aboard Bob and such, you are filled with a strange sense of wonder as the spirit dives beneath the waves, and you immediately are enveloped in the light. Eventually, as time begins to pass, and the Liam's tiny hut begins to show all the differing bits of aquatic wildlife, after only about 5 minutes of travel, emerging almost like a whale out of the ocean, see as the yokai spirit begins to emerge and begins to drop down onto the legs of the ground. You all look up before almost like gunshots. That breaking sensation, the shattering of glass begins to occur, and you look up and you see as the sky itself begins to break and tear, shattering with reality itself. You notice as the moon begins to break and the starry-filled sky dissipates, and it is replaced with the sun high above you all. Now, for all of your character, this is a normality in the likes of Voden, as time doesn't necessarily work normal. It's only ever, as I mentioned before, it's only ever high noon, or it's only ever midnight. one or the other. It seems to be that now a new day has formed, technically, in the likes of Voden, in only just about 2 hours. That's. Eventually, you'll see as the spirit will begin to disperse and drop you all to wherever you wish to be. You find yourselves on the likes of a small sort of beach with multiple sort of rocks and other sort of strange amenities and such. Let me show you exactly where you are. Eventually, the yokai spirit will begin to sort of drop down and sort of disperse back into the sort of the water. Unless there's anything else you guys want to sort of speak and say to him. Other than that, you'll begin to head back and wait for calm. So, adventurers, you look over and there are plenty of things amongst on this beach, but you look up ahead and the giant jungle of Jaded Dragon Valley greets you and awaits home. So, adventurers, is there anything that you guys would like to do while you're on this beach? Or are you guys just heading straight into the jungle? Choice is yours.
For that, Doc is going to look at everybody, and weirdly, just go. Weirdly, start pointing first at Akane. Old one. Specialization.
She'll take out her 2 short swords on either side of her hip and rush over towards him, kind of doing like the anime flip. And even though she reaches a little bit just towards his hip, she will stop short with the short swords on either side and then sheath them, standing tall.
Island.
And that's all she says. That's all she does. I shall nod.
Horse one. Specialization.
Killing my enemies.
Connie audibly laughs at that.
I'm gonna look over at Kane, whisper. Change. He dies first. Look over back at the other 2. You 2. Specializations.
You see, Lorien kind of makes a motion with 2 of his hands, and just kind of like, you know, apparates a little flame in his hand, just like a little ember wisp. And you see he kind of flips it around a little bit. And he goes, "For my enemies," and then he his bottom arm on the same side kind of does a similar motion, but another flame pops up, but this one is like kind of a dull, like purplish, like kind of bluish hue. And it kind of gives off this, like, you know, healing aura. And then he goes, "For my allies."
Whisper
And
over
then
back.
kind of just snuffs them both out.
Whisper back at Akane. Change as well. Is 5.
And I guess that leaves me last, but hopefully not least. I'm a jack of all trades, you could say, but I tend to cause trouble for those on the other end of my flute. And I hold it out and kind of like use the flute like a wand and just kind of shoot an eldritch blast into the sky.
Talking. His specialty is talking.
Oh yes, I might do that a little bit, but while we're on the subject, we're all a group of people new together. What better way to kick off this story than with a little poem? Would you like to hear it?
Not particularly.
Oh, I'll say it anyway. Have you heard of the new group of 6? Quite an eccentric mix. They'll look for a crown, they won't let you down, because they kill and they cheat just for kicks. And I hand you all a flower.
We're gone.
We've
Yeah, I
walked
was gonna say, he like, turned the head of flowers and we're all gone.
Alcamene will just take the flower, put it in her hair, tap you on your knee, and go. Less
Take the-
words. Less words.
Oh, you.
More
I'll
survival.
get you guys. I'll get you guys.
Fu does take the flower, but then immediately feeds it to his horse.
And I'm gonna whisper one more thing to Akane. Goes, I think it's an old saying back at the tribe. Silver tongues corrode quickly.
Alcamene will watch as both Mirage and Akane and
Doc.
Doc kind of go ahead a little bit, lean whenever Fulong is just standing a little bit closer, she'll lean over and go, "Here, take this." And she takes a bit of her hair and she entwines it where she can reach in his braid. I think we're gonna need that in a bit. I'll tell you when. She imbues it with magic and she'll use one of her eerie tokens.
Can I make a perception check to see if I see her doing Fey magic? Because he's Hexblood, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you what, Alcamena, if you're being secretive about it, make a stealth check. If not, you can just keep it as is. Connie, make a perception check, regardless. Well, that's sort of happening. Oh, good. Doc.
Well, I was mostly gonna say is that
Yeah,
Fulong
definitely
try to make a perception check as well.
Oh, yeah, I already got that sort of whole thing.
Alright.
For 16 and all that sort of stuff, I was actually about to tackle that. So, Fulong, with this, all right, guys, you only get one. You only get one hint, and that's it, the entire campaign. So, you look over, and what you would see is there is a couple of sort of useful tools and all that sort of stuff that you might even notice. You notice as there's a bit of sort of plants and other things that you can kind of use for like some medicine and all that if you really wish. But also one thing that you do see is that there is something glinting in the likes of the water. In fact, might be special of sorts. Fulong, roll a D100 for me, please. Okay. I didn't know that. What's that? Oh wow, that's pretty good. You see, as there is, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Yeah. You see, as there is a small sword in the likes of the water, just kind of just underneath a bit of the stone, kind of stabbed and staked into it, kind of where Mirage and Alcamene is. And as it seems to be this way, it's sort of stabbed and staked into a fish, but they never got the likes of their kill. Look around for a source of a body, and you don't see necessarily anything, as if they're completely eviscerated, erased from this entire area. No signs of anything. Regardless, though, that is what you see kind of in the ground. Now, one thing, the reason why I say this in the first place, you may, not all the time, you don't need to or anything like that, but it is useful to typically just sort of scout and scavenge the likes in the environment and all that. I won't be super much of a theme in likes of this campaign, but it's still useful for the likes of you guys in general, as, you know, you're able to find a little bit of stuff that you typically wouldn't. You don't have to always do it, but it might be helpful if you do. And that is the only sort of thing I will ever say about that in the rest of this campaign. Good luck.
Alrighty, that's good to know.
I will collect the shiny and see what it is.
All right. Now, you don't have anything to identify it, so if anybody has the identify spell, you can figure out what the heck it is, but it is a longsword, and it seems to have etchings and runes into it. For Alcamene, you can make that survival check, but what are you making it for?
I'm looking for herbs for medicine and other potions.
Yep, you're a ranger. You make it with advantage. Go for it. Akani, you would probably not notice what Alchemane was doing earlier, though, with that 12.
Yeah, I figured.
Alright. 14, 17, 17. Good stuff. You do get, if you ever want to use it or ever utilize these mechanics, probably not this session, maybe the next one, but you do get the likes of 6 medicine stocks. Now, medicine can be used to make the likes of healing potions or poison potions and stuff like that. More information on that later, though, when it becomes more relevant. But there you go. Right,
I'm gonna lean over to Alchemene and just say, I appreciate you listening to the poem, and then kind of, like, not touch her, but kind of bow over closer to her and give her a bardic inspiration. Just in case it comes.
Thank you. I will take that bardic inspiration. Is that a D6?
D8. I
Yeah,
think.
D8.
yeah.
And also, Sensei, just as an FYI, it was just a bonus action to do the lock of hair to create that token. It'll take a full action to do the other stuff.
Gotcha. You let me know whenever you want to do it, and I got you. You can just roleplay
Thank
that.
you. Will do.
If anything, it'd probably be best now, or a little bit later.
Telepathic message.
Yeah.
That will
Alright.
be my action. Telepathic.
Well, obviously none of the players know this, but what exactly are you saying?
No. Like when it goes off. It
okay.
hasn't gone off yet.
Gotcha. Okay, I got you now. Alrighty. So, with that, you guys all gather whatever you kind of need, and if that's the case, if there's nothing else you need to do, you guys can move your tokens to the north of the map where kind of Doc is, and you guys will start heading towards the jungle.
And just out of curiosity, how many medicines was I able to get?
6 medicine stocks.
Perfect. Thank you. We'll take note of that. Go ahead, Akane, sorry.
I was gonna kind of, as we're like kind of foraging and collecting all this stuff, I was gonna go up to Mirage and just kind of, excuse me, I think there's some more of those herbs over on the other side of this pool. I require your expertise if you want to come over here real quick and just kind of like walk, around to this, like kind of away from the group.
Yeah. Where are you?
Just kind of down here. I mean, we don't have to move if we can.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone's moving up anyway. But just kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed. Something seemed strange during that conversation with the arachnid. Did you happen to pick any of that up, or and just kind of like not expecting him to, but yeah, just.
Yeah. Well, no, but you're always the one that's much better at that than I am. What happened?
Right. Well, I mean, it's nothing specific. It's just a feeling I had. She didn't seem strange to you.
I mean, there was I could tell you were a little uncomfortable in the moment, but I'll be 100% honest. I was just trying to find the best flower and figured you guys could handle that part of the conversation. So I trust your instincts entirely.
Probably for the best. I know you were talking about those numbers earlier today. I'm starting to believe there might be some truth behind them. I don't buy them entirely. There's no way. It's ridiculous. But
every good story has a plot twist, so
yeah, something definitely is strange. I just, given our current company, they are, while they are allies, they are, most of them are a rough sort.
Yes, they didn't
They-
even listen to my poem.
Yes, I know you worked really hard on that too.
I wrote it in like 10 seconds, and I feel like
That's a long time for you to focus on one thing.
one thing, especially not a person, I mean, like a role, but either way, I trust your judgment entirely, so just keep me updated on what you think.
Well, I would just, if you take one thing away from this conversation, just maybe keep these cards close to our chests. I don't think the rest of the group needs to know that there's some strange happenings between the factions just yet.
Of course, we'll wait. Maybe like an Act 3 reveal. We could do it.
Perhaps.
But I won't do it without the express communication between the two of us. You know this.
I do appreciate that. I was like, well, I appreciate your discretion.
You know that I don't divulge information just willy-nilly. There's always a reason to it. So this, of course, especially if you believe it to be something we need to keep close to our chest, I trust you and I will.
I do. I think that would be wise in this situation, at least until we know more about this group.
Understood.
Yeah, and then we'll rejoin.
As you all do. As you guys begin to start heading forth into the likes of past the likes of the beach and more, and on into the grasslands and further into the likes of the jungle, eventually you begin entering the likes of the heavy vegetation and more. The air is heavy with the scent of exotic flowers and the chirping of strange birds. You even notice as a sort of thick, greenish, purplish mist begins to hang in the air. You feel a little bit of mysterious energy buzzing around you. Things first, let me change this. Voluntary bot.
Out of character, do you guys want me to scout ahead?
If you want
Or
to.
would you just
Oh,
jump over?
sure.
Please.
Yeah.
So,
Always.
Best
You
for
wanna join
me
her, Doc?
scouting ahead?
Sure. I'd say,
Yeah.
let's see what you got, or what's your best staff? So,
I
let's go with the
believe a sword.
investigation. Yeah, let's go with
And would I
investigation.
get a... Sorry, Sensei. Would I also get advantage because forests are my favorite terrain?
I could give you, yeah, because I know you picked it for like this campaign, so yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah, you can have advantage.
Investigation.
I believe in you.
20, and even better, 22. Nice. Let me explain what you see kind of ahead, and I got you. So,
And 4.
past all the sort of twists and turns, Alchemina, you begin to start diving into exactly where this sort of area is and what it might hold. Eventually, you're able to sort of skip past the likes of other sort of forested areas and other sort of trees and really lead your sort of troop past any bits of more so things that can slow each other down, being able to point out differing sort of things that could maybe even make one of the individuals like Fu Long and maybe their horse end up falling down and having to sort of help them up, or any of your other sort of allies. But one thing that you would have seen when you scouted up a little ahead is you would have noticed as there is okay. That's all good. One thing you would have noticed is that there is a small sort of, how you say, a small sort of area where the force seems to thin out a little bit. Thin out a little bit more. It seems to be that there are these strange sort of rocks, almost like obelisks even, but not exactly. More so stone-ish structures that are kind of in an area almost as if they were peculiarly placed. They're too big to be done by humanoids or any individuals like that, but it seems to be something that grabs the likes of your attention. Main reason why is because it also has bits of writings and other things onto it. Looking off to the side, you also notice with your 22 on your investigation check is that somebody or something must have been here, because what you notice is that there is a small bedroll and a campfire that seems to be stomped out. How long ago? Well, you're gonna have to get a little bit closer to find it, but that is what you see. Now, is there anything that you'd like to do before I change maps, and all that stuff? Besides, like, let the party know of everything.
Sure. I would tell Fulong that while I scout ahead, you will hear my directions through the braid if I go further. There's a bedroll, open space. I'm going to the voice was hurting my throat, so I'm just going to speak normal.
That's fine.
I'll bring it out once in a while. She's going to go and investigate the area up ahead, like wherever the clearing is, to get a better outlook. And she'll tell Fulong that if he stays behind and just relays the information to the rest of the party, because she has placed that token in his braids, more useful that way.
Am I able to talk back to you, or can I only hear what you say?
I think it's message. It's like sending message. So
Okay.
you'll hear 20. I have a 25 word limit on that particular token.
Okay.
So as long as you're within 10 miles of me, the message can contain up to 25 words. So if I get into something, I will just telepathically let you know ASAP. Because I'm just going to go in by myself to scout ahead, if that helps everyone, just to make sure that they're all prepared. And I'll look towards Akane and Doc and say, you two are probably the most, apart from my friend here, two of the more better suited warriors. No offense to Mirage here and a
Oh,
little
it's
mall
totally
friend.
fine.
In case of danger, Fulong has a way to hear my words should things get sticky. I will go scout ahead. I believe we are starting to get into more dangerous territory. Prudence is important, especially with whatever this Mr. Fog about us is.
Smart. Scout up ahead. At least know we have communication.
Understood. And she's going to stealthily make her way to investigate the campsite.
Make a stealth check.
As
Oh, go ahead.
as she's
I won't
going,
complain about somebody taking the heavy hits. Fine with me.
Sorry.
as she,
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry, as she's scouting ahead, can I just keep my head on a swivel around us, make sure nothing comes up on us?
Sure. Perception check for me.
I'm not good at this, but
Ah.
Oh, your thing is bugged. That's why. I'm trying to fix your thing over here, Connie, on the dish. Oh, what'd you get? 9?
yeah, I didn't. My human eyes don't see anything.
Oh, gosh. Okay. All right. Looking
Can we-
around. I mean, you might. Oh, good.
No, I was just gonna say, are we like holding spells is cool in this game, right?
Yeah, yeah. So the way it works
Okay.
is that only one like if you, let's say something happens, right? You know, you only get one person to take the surprise round. So you can all hold actions and stuff like that, but once things goes off,
Okay.
like we'll say, oh, okay, which one of you 6 are gonna do their surprise act or surprise round, and after that, everything goes into combat.
How does it work? Because I cannot be surprised.
How would it work if you can't be surprised?
Well, I'm
No,
confident.
I mean more so like for if you guys were the people surprising the enemy.
Okay.
Right. Alright. So if that's the case, let's go over to Alchemene. As you're sort of looking over and around, as you're kind of investigating the likes of this area, stealthy as can be, you see as looking about it, there's a bit of mushrooms, there's a bit of sort of food and vegetables and all that sort of stuff, and it's not too sort of old. It's not necessarily fresh as if like it just sort of it just was sort of picked or anything like that. But maybe like a year or so old. So there has to be some signs of life near here. You're just not sure where. Looking for tracks, there isn't really any footprints or anything that could kind of lead to where they might have been. But there's definitely a bed of the sorts, and it's a strange bed at that. It's made out of an entire leaf. Make a nature check for me, please, or Arcana check, your choice.
Oh, damn. I should have used Arcana. That's okay.
You can use the same roll and just use your Arcana if you want. Fine. You're just gonna get a different bit of information.
I'll use my Arcana when I further ahead because there's more stuff to scout.
Okay. So looking at the nature of it, this sort of leaf itself, it doesn't seem natural. It seems like, how do I put it? It seems to be enhanced by some way, shape, or form, but you're not, you're kind of actually familiar a little bit with it. Being a ranger, you know a lot about druidic magic. You get the sense that this was definitely enhanced by a druid using druidcraft of the sorts to create this sort of thing in the first place. Now, that said, this kind of explains the vegetables and the lack of meat and all that sort of stuff. That's what you kind of get from this general area. The dagger itself, also down there, it's just more so like a knife. It's not really anything. I mean, it would be a classic D4 dagger, nothing special about it, though.
Okay, she'll clock that. Take mental notes. Okay. She's going to
last
use...
sort of thing, my bad. Last sort of thing, because you would have got beat the DC of 15. You would see some strange sort of runes and all that sort of stuff. More so scrawlings rather than anything, rather than runes. And more so scrawling sort of stabbed into the legs of the sort of tree and all that sort of stuff. You're not able to understand or read it, though.
Clocking it as she hides behind a tree. And I really like the fact that I can actually hide behind this tree bush right now.
I hope that you guys like that. I worked hard for that.
Oh
man, I'm very proud of it.
My immersion.
Sorry, I got a little bit too invested with the tree ranch. Okay.
Darts from tree to tree.
Yeah, she's stealthing her way towards this area right here.
As you guys are doing that, so Alchemana, we're gonna come back to you in a second. What are the rest of you five sort of doing in the back, or are you just literally waiting?
Sighing, very bored. On top of his horse is what Fu is doing.
How is the like tree line here? Like, is this a pretty thick jungle, or would I be able to like take to the air? Like, do I have room to kind of fly around, or is it like too thick?
Yeah, you got a little bit of room to fly. It's definitely a tight squeeze, but you can definitely do it. How far are you flying up?
Just to kind of get like to the tree, and just so I can kind of get like a slight aerial view, just to kind of see if there's any landmarks that are kind of poking out other than just trees.
Yeah.
Just kind of get a sense of direction.
Yeah, I gotcha. So you kind of fly up like about 30, 40 feet up in the air and all that sort of stuff. And as you kind of do, you begin to... Oh, wait, hold on, I got the blizzard.
No, Alex, you stay on the ground.
Okay. He's gonna just jump down. As you kind of do. You start sort of flapping and fluttering your wings for a minute. You look around and about, make a perception check, and I'll give you advantage because you're flying in the air.
Perception with advantage. Roll something good, please. Hey, that is good.
22. So with 22, you do see a couple of random animals and all that sort of stuff. Nothing super crazy or anything about them, but just a couple of them sort of scouting out buildings and sort of structures. The jungle itself, because you guys are like more so in a forest, but the jungle itself, that one's just too dense and too thick to kind of see through or find anything of the sorts. You do, 22? What type of senses does a moth have? Let me make sure. Is it blind sight or something else? Am I crazy?
Yeah, well, I think their blind sight is like close to them. Like they have like 10 feet of blind sight or something like that.
Yeah, never mind then. Nah, nothing for this.
I have dark vision.
It's not gonna be. It's not gonna be dark. But yeah, that's about it. So as you're kind of flying about, anybody else doing anything?
And can I make a survival check of some kind to like for tracks or just anything interesting in the jungle?
Sure. Survival check. Yeah, make that for me. So 18.
yay, a good
There's
roll.
not really any like human footprints as Alcamene was able to figure out, but what you do see is that you look over off to the side and kind of in the area where they didn't necessarily investigate. You see as over here there's some sort of rustling in the likes of the bushes. All the way over here. Seems to be, you see something of fur and not sure if it's moving or not, but it's over here. Mark that.
As I spot that, I walk over to Doc and I say, there's something in the bushes about 30 feet away, to our left. Furry. You're the
Say-
sulky type. Do you want to go check it out?
Very well. Stay behind me.
Very well.
Stay behind me 15 paces. Make sure you're able to locate when it comes with the locate with the moth. When it comes with the come with the talkative one. Just make sure he just doesn't do anything worse.
I put my hand on Mirage's shoulder and I say, shut up. And then we start moving.
Oh, actually, even better. I think you called them Mirage.
Yes, I think that.
Make sure to keep in contact with Fulong. If Fulong gets in contact with the horse, is able to keep you contact with the old one. With the old one, would be able to just contact back to us.
Okay, so I think that I'm going to go in this middle a little bit of everyone. I do have message, so I can kind of act as a middle communication base. So I'm just going to head over to these trees, if that's okay with you, since it was already scouted.
Also,
Very well.
Make an animal handling check for me, please. You have advantage because you're a background, obviously.
Hey!
Good stuff. Fulong, as you're kind of like sort of sitting on your horse and you're kind of just waiting for something, if anything, or if it's all clear or whatever, is next. And you see your horse just begins to go. It begins to start sort of backing up for a moment, and as it kind of does so, you eventually see as it begins to almost go on its hind legs and starts neighing for a second before eventually you're able to sort of calm it down. But something startled it for some strange reason, and you're not sure why. But kind of look over it, and with that animal handling check of a 20, over and see as something was just on your horse's like neck. It was kind of like almost a strange marking, and then just gone, vanishes. But your horse seems to be calm for now, but that's not normal. You know that for sure.
Yeah. I guess just look around and try to see where that marking came from.
Around you try to look for anybody. No one's been able to make a high enough or no one's seen anything with any of their perception checks. No need to roll again. No one's around as far as you can tell. This just sort of strangely, I don't know, just kind of almost happened and kind of started branding into him.
On what side of the neck, like what part of the neck of the horse was it? Did it seem like it was coming from above, from the side?
So, not on the
way it was
left, not
imprinted?
on the right, but right below it.
Below it.
Mm-hmm.
So under
Kind
it.
of like as if it was forward even.
Okay.
I got a 24 in my stealth. Sneaky.
Or as sneaky as can be. Kind of
And
start
I'm
walking over here.
staying 15 feet behind him, but if I try to stealth, it's gonna go bad. So I'm just
Fair enough.
That's why I said 15. Said
Yep.
15 feet. 15 paces behind.
We've
As you
done this
sort of do so.
before. I stay back.
As you sort of do so, Doc, you kind of walk around, sort of peering through the likes of the bushes as stealthy as you possibly can. And as you eventually do so, look over. Are you heading over towards where the bush is? Or are you still keeping that
Yeah.
distance? Okay.
I do a perception check from the bushes.
No need. You don't really see anything like that. But look over, and one thing that you do see is you get ready just in case anything sort of jumps at you. What you find is wolf, but dead, and not made out of flesh and fur, but also not made out of metal, the Nazgul specialty bots like some of you may know of. Something like that.
Probably me.
What you do see is this wolf is made completely out of stone and rocks. It has a couple of strange markings on the likes of, funny enough, its neck. As it sort of does so, flops down onto the ground and is just not doing anything. It's just gone, dead, if anything. It kind of just presents itself to you at your feet. But before we do anything over here, let's head over back to Alcamene, who's been over here, sort of investigating the likes of these stones. Alcamene, what are you kind of doing over here right now?
I sent a telepathic message directly to Hulong, letting them know that the campsite is clear. There's mushrooms and fruits nearby. They're fresh by a day, no body.
What also you begin to notice is that bunch of writing that is not for show. There is actually bits of writing on every single stone you see.
Would I recognize this kind of area?
Recognize the areas if you've been there? No, but or recognize what it's for? No, not really. But you do find some interesting bits of things on these stones.
Are they written in a language that I understand?
I don't think you know Druidic, do you?
No, but I do know a druid. Oh my god. I know two druids. One druid here and a druid named Druid. Alcamene will come rushing back directly towards the camp, see Mirage, and go, all right. And then go back looking for, well, no, she'll stay near Mirage because she knows that they know a druid.
Yeah, so Mirage is looking at you said this tree has writing on it, right?
Yes, I found right in there, yes.
Not really
So
writing, it's more of like a sort of strange mark or symbol, stuff like that. It's kind of just etched into the tree.
Oh, okay, so it's not like a language or anything.
Nah, not like a language.
Okay, so I'll look at Alcamene come and say, what'd you find?
Druidic.
Ah, I know a druid.
Same here. I know a druid. You know a druid. You should get that druid.
So I'm gonna just message and say, we have a special job for you.
Lauren, you hear that in your
head. All right. Yeah, just kind of after scanning the tree line, we kind of just float back down, and almost everyone in the group has now dispersed. So just kind of pick up Alex and just, well, they've all walked away. And then hearing that, someone got a nat 20.
Oh, what?
You look over and Hulong, same sort of thing. Horse jumps up, but begins to eventually calm down. You saw as it was kind of just almost going against your will and sort of pulling you over here for a moment before you're able to steer it back.
Well, this time I would be watching out for it. Did I see what happened this time?
Make a perception check with advantage because you were watching out beforehand.
Yeah, as that kind of happens, as I was walking by and just kind of come up and was like, "Oh, sorry, did I startle your horse? I thought they were better trained than that."
Not that at all. See that with that 18? Something was glowing over here. Something purple. I wasn't necessarily looking at it when it happened, but something purple just was glowing over on these stones.
And then he's gonna gallop over there.
As you do, move your token and all that sort of stuff. Lauren, you following as well?
Yeah, with message, can I respond?
Just pause.
Yeah, you can.
Okay. Yeah, I guess kind of after hearing that message, be like, well, our horse has found something too. We'll all meet up, follow the galloping horse.
It doesn't like me moving through this wall, so.
Oh, that's fine. I got you. There you go.
Alchemene will start counting how many people she sees. There's the other two.
Oh,
Where's the other
What do
two?
you see, Doc?
oh, meanwhile.
Doc.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
I look over back at Arcanides. Simple. Wolf made of stones. Stones. By the looks of it, runic markings. Investigating it further. Can I do an Arcana?
Yes. Make an Arcana check for me.
I would like to do that too, if I could
Sure thing.
get up on it.
You can make an Arcana check, or you can give Doc advantage.
I'm good at Arcana. Let's see. Hopefully.
That is what you don't say.
Darn it.
Yeah, I
13 to 14. You gonna learn. You gonna learn. But 13 to 14. All right. Here's what both of you know when you put your heads together. 1, druidic magic, for sure, has to be. What type of magic or what school of magic? That you're not so sure. But whatever mark that was on that wolf's sort of neck seems to be similar marking to the likes of that tree over there that Mirage was looking at as well. That said, something is definitely going on over here, but you're not sure why. Nothing has sort of like presented itself yet, and when it will. That's what you two understand. And you're not entirely sure what was the point of the rune in the first place, whether it was to kill, like I said, wolf, or for anything else.
All right.
Maybe we should join the others.
What?
Getting too far away. This is strange, though.
Remember, 20 pace. Remember, with them, 20 paces.
Will do.
See in the center, the whole glowing aspect of this in the center of this rock formation.
Oh boy. You look over and you see a crude map of the land, the area. It's so, like, I want you guys to really take this with a grain of salt. It's so inaccurate, but it's, like, somewhat there. And you see as you look over, see in the center, massive sort of island-ish sort of thing. Giant tree. Center. Turn around, see the likes of the world tree. Okay, checks out. You look over towards here. All right. Seems to have a couple of rocks, but mainly just flat. Kind of like a desert. Oh, okay. You get what this is going on. This seems to be a very crude map of Voden. You look over and you can identify the likes of the Forbidden Expanse, the Azure Taiga, and eventually Jaded Dragon Valley where you guys are. And with this sort of scrawlings, it's almost as if it's like a war map of the sorts. Though it's super small and all that sort of stuff, you see as the markings are kind of drawing arrows and all that sort of stuff, and the arrows are kind of all sort of leaning towards and motioning towards like the center of it all, towards that giant tree that I mentioned in the center right here. Now, besides this, you see the bit of writing onto it, but you can't understand it. Hence, you need a person who can speak Druidic to read it. I said, Lorian, do you read it?
Yes.
Now, also for context, before that, there is writing on every last bit of one of these stones. So keep that in mind. Don't forget that.
Yeah, I would say like he, kind of following where Fulong went. He kind of like flew over this wall and just kind of like scanned the writing that was on the wall first before landing like in here with the map.
Mm-hmm.
You said this was like a war map. Does it give indication of whose side it's on? Is it a neutral party, or is it like marking off some of the others? Like
Oh
whose
boy.
perspective is the map?
Yeah, this is like a
boy.
mall map that hasn't been updated in 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man. Okay, so it's like it seems like it might be a handful of individuals, like only a little more than like 3 dozen or so. That being a little bit of an overstatement. Probably like a dozen or 2 dozen, right? And it seems to be that there is just like that quote unquote enemy force that you would be able to understand. They outnumber them tremendously. It's not even a point where they even mark it on the map. It's more so they just have to draw or they have to just write numbers instead for their forces. Now, if that's the case, it would probably be only just 2 forces then. And from the perspective of the smaller group of individuals.
Okay.
All right. So, Lauren, what you can kind of see is on these rocks, and if you want to read more, just let me know at some point. You see over here, you see something about the 7 heavenly waterfalls. Over here, you read something about the Chimera. Another thing over here, you read about the Death Curse or something like that. Another thing over here, you read about something Teniyama or Akuyama, sort of information, all that sort of stuff. So I can write that down if you want to add that to your notes. Aku. There you go. And all that sort of stuff. But eventually, and I didn't tell you which that's over here because you didn't read over here. But
Right.
over here though, it reads the following. And are you reading this out loud or are you just reading it to yourself?
I think he would probably just read it to himself first.
Gotcha. As you do, it says the following. 5 spirits. 1 forgotten. 1 corrupted. You see as this word corrupted is sort of almost etched out, crossed, and slashed several times over. But there is a way for peace, a way for redemption. Find the sage. Past that, see as there's a bunch of like mad scrawlings, almost like the Riddler from Batman, of where is the sage, where are they, where could they be, where are they hiding, yada yada yada, all that sort of stuff. But that's what it reads.
Mm.
Can I do a quick history check? You're not relaying this information out loud, right?
No, not at this moment.
Then I'll do my history. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say you do kind of as you see him kind of contemplate this for a second, and then just kind of like, almost like a whole new like life has been come into him. He kind of like snaps around. He looks at all the rocks around here. I do want to go look at the one that says the 7 heavenly waterfalls, because there's also a 7 involved there. So just kind of want to like read up on that a little more. But yeah, you see him just kind of like going from like place to place and just like taking in the whole area basically.
We're gonna be here.
Kind of just like Midoriya like muttering to himself, just like spirits of this. But this, just kind of like
question. Because you would read, because all this would be like, it would take you minutes and all that sort of stuff to read and all that. So is it when or if, or do you ever sort of relay that information to everybody? I got you. I'll give you the information, all that stuff. More so, when would you?
I honestly, I think he would just kind of be in his own head at this point until somebody like stopped him. Like the minute somebody's like, "Hey, what you doing, bro?" Like then he would just kind of like just blurt it all out. Not necessarily like
going. They're just going.
As they're mumbling to themselves, can I like approach?
Horse is crazy.
Oh lordy!
Oh my god!
That's the horse's second nat 20.
That horse is crazy.
Dang.
Can I to Lorian say you want to speak a little louder?
Oh yes. Sorry, it's haven't had a chance to do this in a while. No, it's I don't know. It's a poem of sorts. I don't know what you would rather. It's not really information. It's just it's talking about some spirits. 5 of them. 2 of which are something happened to them. And then there's something about a sage. Does anybody know? I mean, I'm sure there's lots of sages around, but it's just.
Ooh, do we hear that creepy voice?
Do you hear?
Maybe.
We need to make perception checks.
No need. Y'all hear.
Sorry. Does anybody want me to read this out loud? I mean, I know I can't convey all of it in a
Oh, you fucking dick.
Alchemene will just look out around everyone right now and look and go, we are out in the open and we have not been stealthy all this time. Looks towards Akane, then looks at the horse, and she goes, you've been good. I don't like this. And she is going to cast, as long as you are quiet, I'll see if I can help you out. You must stay within 30 feet of me, and she will cast Pass Without a Trace. We can talk when it's safer. This is not safe. There is an empty campsite. Nobody. We are close to this, whatever the fuck historical artifact this is. And we're gonna just powwow over history? Buddy, we in the jungle. We die! She's just gonna cast it. She's gonna cast Pass Without a Trace. And once it casts this, everybody has to be really quiet, or else we're fucked.
Can't stop the clinking of my armor, but I will do my best.
So
I'll give you a save. Sorry, go on.
I was gonna say the second time the horse reacted to that, like you kind of faced it. Like, was the facing important?
Yes, very much so. I'm glad you caught on to that. I did that on purpose, as it is looking directly at this rock.
And
yeah, and was that the one? Was that the one that I was gonna go to, the 7 Heavenly Waterfalls one, or was that a different one?
Nah, that was the one over towards the south, over here where Connie's at. I can't think of it for some reason. But...
Okay. Yeah, well, that was this one. Did you mention it? Because I remember you rattled off a bunch. I remember like the Chimera and
I gotcha. So I can, if you're looking at all of them, well, here, let's take this order of events. So you see over here, I think. There we go. Over here, you see the death curse. Over here, I'm so glad you haven't said that out loud. Hey, Squigs, how's it going?
Hey.
Down over here, you see Akuyama and Tiniyama. Down here, you see the Heavenly falls. Over here, you see the
Right.
Chimera. Over here, you see the Blood Forest. And also over here... Well, do you actually read this?
Yeah, I think you would. Yeah.
Alright. You hear something about... a Snake Queen. Next, over here,
Snake
you hear something about elemental volcanoes.
Okay.
And that is what you read over there. Now, for this sort of thing, Fulong, you look over and your horse is more so just eyeing and staring at the likes of this rock. For some strange reason. Alchemina, you're kind of a shorter individual, though. Kind of look over, and there's a little bit of dirt kind of over, kind of like, as if the horse kind of stepped in mud a little bit. Sort of a bit of rock and dirt kind of surrounding its hooves. Nothing like you can't just sort of, step out of, but you just kind of notice that.
She'll look at Fulog. Get your horse out of here.
I'm gonna peel back up a bit. But, not really caring if he steps on other people. He's more concerned with his horse than him. Other than her.
Also,
She's gonna eye that rock.
Also, let me know when you cast Pass Without a Trace, by the way.
As soon as I've got everybody within 30 feet of me.
I kind of want to swing at this rock.
You want? But yeah, just let me know. Like, all right, Sensei, I'm casting Pass Without a Trace.
I want to cast Pass Without a Trace right now before Lorian decides to fuck around and find out.
All right, as you begin to do so, Lorian, you're kind of just sort of reading a bit of this. Fulong, you're kind of getting ready. You're considering whether you're about to strike into the likes of this rock for a moment. Alchemina, you begin to cast the likes of Pass Without a Trace, and as you sort of do so, you cast the spell. Wait. Start weaving this hand signs more. You start casting it again. Nothing. You start going through the likes of your spell components and more, and you start casting. It's not working. What's going on? It's not going through. Before
Arcana check.
Before then, you begin to start hearing something. You hear it starts as a low growl, but then it begins to change over time.
Join.
I knew it.
Join us. Join us.
Can I do a perception check to figure out which direction it's coming from?
Everywhere.
We're fucked. Okay.
I put up my shield and draw my weapon. I'm at the ready.
As you do,
Yeah,
put up the shield
I'm ready.
at the ready. You got it.
Let's go. He gave us
I'm
more
ready.
than enough warning, y'all. He gave us enough warning. My magic isn't working here. Can I do a quick Arcana check to see if there's some sort of anti-magic field around me?
As you sort of do, sort of try to make an Arcana check to try to figure out exactly where it's coming from. As you're sort of doing so, it's harder to do it because a bit of this sort of green and purplish mist is getting even thicker and thicker. But make an Arcana check, but do it with disadvantage, my friend.
Understood. Rough
Do you want an Arcana check as well?
You can, but the DC is going to be higher because you're doing it after someone already failed. But you can certainly try.
Yep.
Disadvantage one more time.
Can I assist them?
Yeah, you can. So straight roll then.
Yeah, no, I failed already.
Oh, darn.
No, it's a 7. It's not looking too good. You guys are trying to. You guys are trying to sort of
dice
figure
are
out
telling
where
a
the heck
story.
are.
We just
Hold on.
We
We're
just
trying
gotta
to
see-
figure
we
out
just
exactly
gotta see
what
what
the heck
comes
is
out.
going on. We're trying to figure out where's the possible source of the likes of this anti-magic thing or what the heck is going on. But as you're kind of doing so, you're looking around and almost you're losing a bit of each and every one of your companions' sights. Start breathing in. Everyone make your highest saving throw now.
Oh no.
Yep.
Oh,
And considering I haven't rolled above a 10 today.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I can't roll in general.
So to make your saving throws, here's what you do. You double click on your character sheet. You're gonna click on the likes of like strength or dex or whatever the heck it is, and then it's gonna actually make a saving throw.
Oh God, I might
Oh,
actually
yeah,
be
there it
permabanned.
is.
Well, it was nice knowing y'all.
I'm gonna be permabanned. What the fuck?
All right, let's see what y'all got. So Alchemene 13, that's a fail. Doc 13, fail. Akani 11, fail. Mirage Fulong, that is a success. 20 and 21. Lorian 11. Oh wait, that was an insight check. You gotta make a saving throw. Saving throw.
Oh, my bad. I just went with my highest modifier. All right, let's try this again.
One more time,
where
for the
you
one
at?
time, for the one time.
Oh,
Okay, so
God.
how do you do the saving throw then?
So for you, it should be wisdom. Double click on, or just click on wisdom, and it'll ask you if you want to make a check or saving throw.
Oh, I see. Okay, on
Yeah, you
actual
see it.
wisdom. I see now. I understand.
I'm trying to figure out how to equip my glaive or get my glaive.
Yes, good.
I got you. I can help you.
Oh, that's much better.
Oh, you already have
It's
it.
defaulting to the crossbow for some reason. Well, when I was pulling up like the
Oh, good.
when I was using like the use item thing for when you so I got combat or whatever, my only option was crossbow bolts.
Oh, that's
So
weird.
that's why I was
I'll look
confused
into it. I'm gonna add it as a favorite. Maybe that'll help. But as you're sort of doing so, okay. So let's start with these individuals. Alchemene, Doc, Akani. You look around, and as you're sort of doing so, look towards and gaze towards the likes of the stars for a moment. That's interesting. That's, kind of pretty. Really, really pretty. Maybe I'll go fetch one. You vote everyone else, Fulong, the likes of Mirage, Lorian. Just see as all three of those individuals, they just go slack for a moment. See as they start walking over, rounding about the, not you, surrounding the likes of this rock over here. And you look over on the likes of their necks, right below, similar to where your horse's neck was, similar to where the wolf's neck was. See that same old mark. See as they all begin to walk over here, and you're almost losing sight from them through the likes of the mist. Immediately just erupting out of the ground, you see as multiple stone walls begin to start erupting and protruding from the ground, wrapping and encasing the likes of Alchemene, Doc, and Akani. It seems to be made out of these strange sort of runic carvings and more. And with that, you look over and you see the rock itself that you're right beside begins to look over at you, Mirage. And it begins to smile. As you notice, it has a little bit of a face, and then some arms, and then some legs. As you look over and you see this individual.
Oh, dang.
And as it does so, you watch as all the runes about it begin to glow, and that wolf from earlier, Doc, it begins to slowly animate. As your souls are shackled, and the time for battle is next week for session 2 of Jaded Jungles. Oh boy!
Hey.
Welcome to the jungle.
Hey!
No,
Oh,
good thing
great!
it's
This is wonderful. I have not rolled above a 9.
Man.
I know.
Yikes.
It's been
Yeah, I
rough,
had
these
one good
rolls,
roll.
dude. They've been crazy.
Change your dice. Change your dice.
Ooh.
I did it multiple times. I had to do it. And that's all. That is why
Oh,
I got
boy.
any rolls higher.
Oh,
This is
I
what
have a
get for trying to be a player.
game on Thursday.
Dude,
pretty
just
much
change your
go-
dice.
Well, this is gonna be good. So Fulong and Mirage and Laura, it's gonna be up to you to get these other 3 out, because you got 3 party members already locked away. It is not good.
Oh god,
Yeah.
that's 3 out of
It's a-
3.
So are they still like visible and they're just like kind of
Yeah, where
encased
are
in a
they?
thing, or are
It
they
is a
just like
stone prism.
okay, all right.
It
Yeah,
is.
We
we're
are not
running
able to
trees.
move at all.
Nah, you guys are
Well,
like
the good
right
thing
beside each
is
other. Go ahead. Go
he
ahead.
got up, so I do get to swing at him as soon as he gets
Do we
up.
still have
Yeah.
do we still have our faculties once it shows up? Or are we
Wait, hold
still
on.
like under our days?
Say that one more time, Connie.
So, sorry. Do we still have our faculties as it appears, or are we like under its like days still, or whatever it did to us?
Oh no. Yeah, you guys are fine. You guys are back to normal. It's just now you're in a rock or trapped in rocks.
Oh, okay. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, you
Cool.
guys are fine now.
Are we still able to like do actions or no?
Oh, don't worry. We'll talk all about that because guess what, guys? Y'all chose the hard difficulty. I hope you guys are ready for your first fight, but also your first little mini boss, so I can explain some mechanics, such as
That's
intuition checks.
nice.
All right.
All
So
right.
we're gonna rock and roll.
In that case, I'm never going to be clashing. You guys
We
have
could just
fun.
go another hour.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
go
no.
another hour.
I gotta go though. I gotta go. It's already late. People are trying to.
Oh man.
I
Okay.
agree. I agree.
Kids, go tell your teachers reading is bad.
Oh man, that's funny. So I want to do a couple
Alright.
of things, little
That's
things
why I
that
didn't-
won't be relevant because you guys skipped over it. So fun fact, there's more so. I think Ebonics, you'll care about this. Maybe N, you will. So a little bit of going the curtain back and all that stuff. So fun fact, Xylor, the reason why this character looks so familiar is because this is the Coyote's brother. Haha. That's why they have the same exact sort of look and everything. They even have the shaved head. But yeah, they are.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Coyote's, or funny enough, his little brother, even though he's bigger than him, and all that sort of thing. Also,
Oh, you're still streaming.
oh yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't care. I was just gonna tell you this. Also, we didn't have
Bonus
enough time for this little guy,
content.
but basically, if you would have talked to him over here, he would have basically like hinted towards like, yeah, there was a big ass yokai spirit that was kind of rooting around in the sort of the water and all that stuff. You would have been able to figure out about Bob if anybody talked to this guy. Also, oh boy, this little guy over here. Actually, it'll be relevant later. Never mind. I'm not gonna say anything about him. But yeah,
Wait, what
Now
about the
that-
Hanu? Because I was going to talk to him, but then I was like, maybe not.
the Hanu, oh boy, the Hanu. Nothing
It's a
was gonna
secret,
be
you can
super
save it.
crazy. Nothing was gonna be super crazy. He was just gonna throw a rock at you if you try to walk this way.
Oh, jeez.
Oh
Try to throw a rock at you and make you fall in the water. That was it.
man,
He's just a-
I was thinking about using Mage Hand to pull him into the water.
Oh man, that would have been good.
No,
If it came up.
I typically don't do this, but it's only like little small things that won't really matter or whatever. You're not gonna figure it out anyways.
He's
But
a
yeah.
he's a grumpy old man like me. We're kindred spirits, man.
Hey, the person with the
Oh,
hottest dice in our session was my horse.
Yes, it was.
Dude,
Horse
Two
that
natural 20s.
freaking horse.
I hate it. I hate it so much that the fact the horse got 2 nat 20s in a row, and I haven't got above a fucking 9.
Hey man, you're getting them out bad. You're getting the bad rolls out now for next week for you to come in strong as ever.
Oh, I know me. It's going to be happening next week. That's why
Oh,
Winfear has
man.
a fucking plus 12 in his conversation skills.
Oh man, that's gonna be
I
great.
know me.
But hey,
Oh.
alright, I'm gonna break down the stream. I'll be right back in like 2 minutes. At
Oh,
most,
yeah.
and
Yeah,
then,
one thing.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
yes.
not corruption, right?
They do?
I was going to say Boulder, not corruption, correct?
Nah. If you're asking if this thing cosmic death you, nah, it won't cosmic death you.
Okay, thank you.
You don't have to worry about Matt banging
Pound
down
you
the
to
door.
the dirt.
It's very cool. Very cool looking. I love it.
Yeah, I was really trying hard not to like metagame because I'm not really sure. I guess the character doesn't know about certain words, but like I do, so I was like, I don't want to say it.
I was waiting for you to say it. I was like, alright, if any druid knows or anything like that, maybe they can decode it or whatever. Yeah, that's funny. I'll be right back. Be right back, guys. I'm gonna break down stream. All right, thank you guys and everyone who was able to watch. It was fun getting, being able to sort of jump back in for some good old D&D fun, and action. It was a good streaming and seeing you guys and all that sort of good stuff. You guys are great and fantastic. If you guys can do something for me. Do something very much for me. Please Like the video if you haven't done so, as it does help us out tremendously, and it helps spread this video and stream to so many other people so they can maybe get involved with the likes of Project Aurora and start their journey on this epic sort of game. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't done so, as you'll get notified whenever we go live next week for the likes of Jaded Jungles at 8 p.m. We're actually going to be live again tomorrow at Wednesday, 12 p.m. for the likes of Trials of Passes, so be sure to check out that. Also, last sort of thing, if you haven't done so already, I would appreciate this as we're trying to really get this sort of going. I'd really appreciate if you guys can also, if you ever played in a D&D game with me and you like my style, or you just really enjoyed other likes of the game and all that sort of stuff, what would really help out tremendously would be if you guys kind of leave a review on the likes of startplaying.games, as it really does help us out when it comes to being able to show people like, hey, yo, you're a good DM, maybe join to sort of, help them out and play in one of their games. So please, it only takes 10 seconds. Just leave a review, all that sort of stuff. It is very much appreciated. All right, everybody. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We're gonna get going. I'll see you guys later. Bye.